All right. Oh, sounds like somebody's coughing. Okay. It's me and it's my character. How is everybody doing today? I am doing great. Hello, Varen. I hope I said your name correctly. Yeah, so here we are back in Starfield with the Cyberneticist. I've got some new duds here. We are decked out in the Bounty Hunter armor. It's very beefy. Been doing a lot of, like, you know, dungeon crawling and things like that, and haven't found many legendary items yet that that can actually keep pace with the non-legendary items that I have. This one's doing, 216 physical damage. I have a matching pack and a matching helmet that are both, you know, completely non-legendary, non-epic, no special effects, but they impart so much protection that I can't do without them. And in fact, you can see that my character right now is rocking 485 physical damage, 419 electromagnetic damage resistance, and 449 energy resistance, which is actually really beefy, especially for not having any kind of like legendary armor or anything like that. So we're going to be keeping our eye on some updated gear for sure. Kind of the same story with the weapons. For my favorites, I'm pretty much using the Varun stuff, the Inflictor, which is the rifle, and the Star Shard, which is the pistol. Funny enough, the particle beam weapons seem to be the only ones that are packing enough punch on very hard difficulty at New Game Plus 10, which is the true hardest difficulty in the game. Yeah, the enemies are way more spongy. Hey, Mr. Panicked Monk. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so I was rocking a couple of laser pistols. Well, a laser pistol for a while. I was rocking a laser Orion earlier on, and then also an Equinox. And those do the job, especially at range, especially the Orion, but enemies are so spongy at New Game Plus 10 that I really needed the extra oomph from these particle beam weapons to really get any kind of put a dent in the health bar of these enemies. So yeah, he's looking pretty cool, I think. Again, this is the bounty hunter stuff. Looking a little ragtag, but also beefy as hell. Yeah, so today I think we're going to be just cruising through a couple of side quests, cruising through the main storyline. I've been focused on Starfield a lot lately because I have 3 or 4 videos that I want to get out on the channel that are like in various states of completion. So once I'm done with that, I might even uninstall the game for a while to make room for some backlog stuff. And then I do plan on doing more builds and stuff for Starfield later on, but I need space on my hard drive for other stuff. So after we get the Cyberneticist builds out, there's a couple of guide videos I want for Starfield. I'm going to be focused on Skyrim after that. So if you are here for the Skyrim content, that is definitely coming, but don't get discouraged when you see,
let me guess,
2 or 3 Starfield videos and streams coming out, because I just need to run through it to get it on the other side of it before I start focusing on Skyrim again. Hey, there's Magus. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we got some lung damage here. I can fix that in a second. It gets really annoying. This is a funny version of Skyrim. Yeah, man, I worked hard on this mod list. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so where are we? What are we doing here? We are, I just did Sam Coe's mission. So I'm finished with Sam Coe. I'm taking Andreja on now. Get her affinity, and then Barrett after that. And after that, we'll be done with all of the companions, all the followers. What I'm working on right now is just going through these side quests and stuff, and we'll be doing some main quests too if we can get there. And right now we're doing the side quest for the dude who hangs out in the electronics shop in the well. This is kind of a hidden mission a little bit. If you don't go through every shop and talk to everybody, you're probably not going to pick this one up. And I think you get a unique weapon as a reward for it. So Curious to see what happens there. Let's go do that now, shall we? And then before we do anything worthwhile, we'll heal up this lung damage. We got all kinds of aid items in the ship. Oh yeah, heading back to the Red Mile. We've already done this as part of the Freestar Collective questline. I've finished with that too. So we are. I am tearing through the content of this game, trying to get to a state where I can get the footage that I need for the videos I need to put out. The unreleased LE version.
I think I
probably
could do quite
yeah, right.
well on the Red Mile. I think together.
You're discouraged. I'm sorry, Joe.
Well.
I'm favoring humble beginnings, but I'm stuck between Dovahkiin's Abode House mod or sticking with TNF house remodels. Interesting. Well, I have all kinds of ideas for Skyrim. I gotta finish up the Steger. I have some cool ideas for the build guide for that one. I want to make that one a little more cinematic than I have made my other build guides, which are kind of just like a bunch of dry information that I'm just pushing through your eye sockets into your brain, you know? Salinas' package. All right. Normally, I don't like to touch other people's packages, but I have a side quest for this one, so that's all it takes. Now you know how to get Karn to touch your package. Just put a side quest in his log.
Mom says we might go to Paradiso next year. She's all excited about spa days. I wonder if they have any good bookstores there.
Maybe. Okay, so this is actually the frontier. Let's do a quick, well, let's see. Do I have... There we go. That'll take care of the cough.
So strange feeling.
Package. 2 things. So this is actually the frontier, and you can tell that it's the frontier. This is the first ship that Barrett gives you at the very beginning of the game. You can tell it's the frontier based on the cockpit. Look at that. That's pretty much the only thing that's left. The cockpit and the and whatever this thing's called. The bay. Whatever you use to get on and off the ship. Yeah, that is pretty much the only thing left from it. So I've called this thing the Frontier Viper. I've been modeling it off of the Vic Viper from the Gradius series. It's an old Nintendo arcade shoot-'em-up game. Let's see, this is a very heavy planet, but oh, ouch.
Need a moment to walk that off?
Maybe, Andresia. But I can go into photo mode here. Here we go. So the Vic Viper has a kind of a triangular shape with a strip cut out of its middle here, and that's where the cockpit kind of lies. Now, I would like to take this cockpit and move it up and back to where the shield is right there, right in the center of the screen. And then I would like to make this a little more narrow, maybe take the halves off of either side of these and then put them on top, make it a little taller, and then put like a fin on either side. The reason I can't do that yet is because the dock right there is on the top, and you can't have anything that extends past the dock for when you have to dock with other space stations and stuff. So what I want to do is find a dock that fits to the back of the ship, because I don't have a whole lot sticking out back here. If I can find a dock that fits right here underneath this hab, or on the back of this hab, or even replace this hab, then I'll be free to build my ship higher up. So basically what I'm trying to do is give my ship a butthole and then go in and out of my ship through the ship's butthole. That's a technical term for shipbuilding. So anyway, it can hold its own in battle. It's actually quite maneuverable for its size, but at New Game Plus 10, I was waiting for somebody to laugh at that one. Thank you, Magus. So at New Game Plus 10 on very hard difficulty, ship combat is very, very difficult still. I think that needs to be tuned. They got an update coming where you can you can tune your difficulty level for many aspects of the game. Probably sometime very soon. They said they would have a new update including this stuff early in the year, following up with a 6-week cadence for sort of major updates for this game, which is good. A lot of people have a lot of feedback for the game, as do I. I really love this game, even though I completely acknowledge a lot of the faults that it has. And I think anybody who is still playing this game probably feels the same way. You can love something that's flawed. Okay. So let's get this baby in the air. I can show you what she looks like in action. But yeah, still, ship, it holds its own against 2 or 3 maybe lower level ships, and it does okay against 1 high level. But once it starts having to take sustained fire from multiple different sources, then its defense kind of breaks down quickly. So I need to look into that. Either I need to build up the hull a lot more, which is going to make it bigger and clunkier, or maybe I can add another shield or a better shield. Oh yeah, Varun, these guys are tough. Right now, my best defense is a good offense, which I think has always been the way with ship. That guy is... Okay, we're taking a lot of fire now. There's 1 left. Got to start spamming repair kits now. Oh, they knocked my targeting out.
Blown out their grab drive.
Ooh, okay.
Fancy flying, stranger. We really showed those Varun zealots who owns these skies. Micro wants you to know how
I think
much we
that's Pan Am
appreciate the
Parker's
help.
voice actor from
Any way we can
Cyberpunk.
repay you?
Sounds just like her.
Transferring parts now. You take care.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her. Anybody who has played Cyberpunk probably recognized that immediately. Magus hasn't even begun to give feedback yet. Best defense is a good offense. That's your best advice for life. I like it. Aggressive. Okay. So now I think we're just heading back to New Atlantis, to the well. Didn't even have to do the Red Mile. You know, if I were thinking, let's go ahead and do a Red Mile run here, huh? Now, one thing that I learned during Wynn's last stream, when she was streaming Starfield, is that when you get into a ship battle like this, and you down some ships, there's always going to be some spaceship debris that you can actually land on the planet and go pick through, and you can find some pretty good loot here. It's not as like in depth as you would like. You can't really like board a downed ship and then go looking for scrap or whatever. It's just a shipwreck with a few, you know, chests and stuff. But it's still a nice little touch. Oh, May, you want to run the Red Mile? Yeah, let's do a Red Mile run while we're here, huh? Once I get Starfield, I'm going to choose the warship path. Oh, nice. Yeah, if you plan on playing Starfield...
I'm not saying the Red Mile is not a challenge, but I have seen much, much worse.
Yeah, you and me both, Andreja. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So if you haven't picked up Starfield yet, the biggest piece of advice I can give you right off the bat, treat your ship combat as part of your build. you're gonna need it. It's tough. Even so, I have like a ton of a 4 out of 4 in piloting, 4 out of 4 in targeting systems, 4 out of 4 in shields. Only 3 out of 4 in energy weapons because I switched to particle beam weapons instead, and I got 4 out of 4 there. 4 out of 4 in starship design, starship engineering. And that's pretty much... I could get the automated weapon systems for a beefed up, continuous automated damage dealing mechanism. But you can see how hairy that was, even with all these perks. Not to mention some other things that I got going on here with the social tree. I do have 1 rank. In fact, I'm gonna make no, not yet. I have 1 rank in the ship command, which allows you to assign additional crew members to your ship, and you actually get beefed up perks for each crew member that you have aboard your ship. So keep in mind, you need to. You have to do this, especially if you're playing on harder difficulty levels. Otherwise, you're gonna get cooked in space. Red Mile is one of the things you actually liked. That whole area looks nice. It's a cool idea too. Can't wait till a modder rips the fuck out of those vanilla trees. Yeah, no, yeah. There's modders have their work cut out for them for sure. That being said, this is the best looking vanilla game that Bethesda's ever released. This is a far cry better than Fallout 4, and then vanilla LE Skyrim. That game's kind of gross by today's standards. Now, obviously, a well-modded Skyrim game is going to hold up to Starfield or any new AAA game, really, if you're doing it right. But this is a good-looking game, even compared to other AAA games that came out this year. It doesn't have any of the fancy ray tracing. In fact, it's really missing some reflections. The reflections in this game are Fallout 4 reflections, which are not reflections at all. They're cube maps, and they look completely terrible. And if you see them and you actually notice them, you'll never be able to unsee them. Be forever ruined. That's one of the things that a Skyrim ENB does great work on is screen space reflections. If a 2023 vanilla BGS game looked worse, I'd be worried. Yeah, I think it looks good. I think it looks better than something like Baldur's Gate 3, which is not really that kind of game.
But the Red Mile is not for the weak and faint of heart.
It does. It has some jankiness, but the jankiness aren't from the graphics. They're not from the visuals. They're from the movement and the animations. They get a little wonky, and the animation system is a little buggy. I'd like to see them do some work on that.
Good. And are you able to confirm that you are of sound mind, not under the influence of any substances, and not under any form of coercion?
Yeah, I'm sober, doing this of my free will, and ready to go, except I did twist my ankle trying to see the top of my spaceship earlier,
and we'll announce
which does not bode well
after the introduction. You'll want to head
for my
down.
ability on this renowned
Then
challenge here.
You're on your own.
Actually, I've already done this once as part of the Freestar Collective. I think I mentioned this already. The Freestar Collective side quest makes you go through this in order to get information from someone.
For what it's worth, I hope you succeed.
And obviously, I've already done the Ryujin quest line as well. I'm wearing the covert operative suit. Let's go ahead and do this so I get my quest marker. Very good. I don't know, everything I've seen of Baldur's Gate 3 looked better. I just haven't bought Baldur's Gate 3. Not sure I will. Still very much into Skyrim things. My save is fixed, by the way. Oh yeah, I saw that. I couldn't sleep last night. I was trying desperately to sleep, so I wasn't engaging anybody in Discord. But I was up till like 4 o'clock my time. It's been terrible all week. But yeah, I saw that it was looking good, but it's good to hear that it is actually fixed and you can continue. That's a really cool character. I was able to lurk on a couple of your streams late last year, Magus. So I think I was active on a couple of them throughout the last few months. But yeah, it's a really cool character. I'm really digging the whole sort of how do you call it? It's like the non-manual way you're casting these lightning spells is stuff that I've always tried to do in my own builds. You know I love Lion's Arrow and Spellscribe. Just makes for some very interesting builds, especially when you synergize it with like the power attacks and stuff like that. Cool stuff. The save is 100% new now, no issues. Oh, cool. Battle Ranger stuff you use. Oh, cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I am not burned out on Skyrim by any means. Just been doing Starfield lately. As I said, I'm trying to get some footage for some videos.
Hey, be careful not to point that thing at me.
What are you talking about?
Gonna take more than that.
That's what I love about these Annihilator rounds. So yeah, that's a mod that you can put on these Varun, any particle beam weapon really, is the Annihilator rounds mod, and that adds a damage over time effect when you kill an enemy, and it's an area of effect. Ah. Okay, so sort of the workflow for the Cyberneticist that I've been working on here. And I want to do a combat tips video for Starfield here. So the combat flow is for my weapons. I start with the rangiest weapon equipped. And then for the 2-click hotkey for the right, I get my next rangy weapon, so my second most range, and then the close-up weapon that typically does the most damage in the 1-click weapon. So as the enemies close in on me, I go from long range to mid range to short range. And I do that typically instead of reloading at all. Reloading takes a long time, especially if you haven't perked into it. But instead of perking into reload, you just hotkey a weapon, and that's quick. It's almost instant. See, he started to reload there, and instead we just pulled out a new weapon with a fresh clip.
I'm hit.
That's kind of how instead of reloading, that's how that works. And as the enemy closes in, you can switch to more powerful weaponry, but also shorter ranged weaponry. And then also, as Magus knows too, the cutter is a very potent weapon. It's the first sort of pseudo weapon you get in the game. It's also kind of like the de facto pickaxe, if you're familiar with Skyrim. And the reason that it is so strong is because it has it's like a laser beam that kind of shoots out, right? And instead of it just being a continuous beam, in the game engine it actually just has a super high rate of fire. So it hits super quickly, over and over and over again. And that, coupled with the rank 4 in the laser certification skill, you get a 5% chance to set a target on fire. Now that flame lasts for a while, that burn effect lasts for a while, and it does actually stack. So if you're doing a huge amount of hits in a row really quickly and you have that stacking fire effect on, you're gonna start doing a massive amount of damage over time really quickly. You got another one over it? Yep. So for your close weapon slot, that's actually a really good one to have. I got bored of it. Because you use it from the very beginning of the game. I'm on New Game Plus 10 now. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Once you see the reflections, you can't really unsee it. This actually isn't bad, because it does have representation for the cables that are hanging down. This is one of the better cube maps in the game. This actually isn't a reflection. These are actually just very low assets posted on the other side of a semi-transparent texture. So this is much better on performance than you would get from an actual screen space reflection, which is why they do it that way. But typically in a game that has screen space reflections, you would see much better detail. Like, you can't even see this box right here in the reflection. It's just not there, right? With an actual screen space reflection that you get from an E and B or something, that box would be there until the box went off screen, and then it would disappear. With ray traced reflections, you could move that box completely off screen and you would still see the reflection in the top of the puddle up there. And typically with much better resolution, much better quality, which is why that ray tracing stuff is coveted. But I would argue in Starfield's favor that their lighting, outside of their reflections and stuff, their lighting is actually really good. I'm not following my own combat advice here. They have emissive lighting and particle effects that look much better than anything I've seen in Fallout 4. Oh, excuse me. And it's actually quite noticeable when you go to a place like the Well or Neon. You see those neon lights and what is normally like a darkly lit alley. Really bouncing all over the place, and it looks great with proper colors and everything. Something else that ray tracing does better in general with the bounce lighting, but I think BGS did a good job with its emissive lighting. Looks kind of like a Starfield. Looks kind of like a Cyberpunk without ray tracing enabled, which is still a great looking game. James, welcome, buddy. Found yourself a little pack. Yeah, these are tough enemies too. They're very spongy. This is why I'm using particle beam weapons instead of laser weapons. I am spec'd into laser weapons.
Try not to be responsible for any industrial-sized accidents while we are here.
Very hard difficulty on New Game Plus. Enemies become very, very spongy, so you have to make sure you have the tip-top in terms of weaponry, doing as much damage as absolutely possible.
Trigger the flare and make it back. We can do this.
Yeah, I'm not really that worried about it, Androja. I mean, I could just, sprint pack like through all this stuff.
Well,
so the difference between particle beams and laser weapons. Okay, so as a Cyberneticist, that's the chosen beginning that I did. Let's see, can you hear what if Icarus and some point start from remodel? Are you asking me what I know about Icarus? Yeah, so his game got borked with the update. He didn't have updates as far as I'm backups as far as I'm aware. I think he did have updates disabled, but it still snuck through like it does for lots of people. I think Magus posted a PSA about, make sure that you start Steam before you start Skyrim to avoid those updates. And now there's also ways to make certain manifest files in your Steam apps folder read-only to completely prevent Steam from updating any game. And that's kind of the preferred method now of avoiding updates. But anyway, he got bit by it, as did many, many other people. And he didn't really have a way to drop back in backups. There's always a way to fix it. It's just you know, how deep are you willing to go? And Icarus had some... I think he had his mind on other projects for a little while anyway, so he wanted to take a break from the Skyrim stuff and work on another project. Which I think he will be making his plans public probably pretty soon. Last I heard, he was working on his next video, still trying to feel his way around with new subject material. I think he's trying to document his weight loss journey. Should be interesting. Just grab the manifest versions. Yeah, no, I mean, I think there were things we could have tried to get his stuff back. And I don't have the capacity, the free time to be able to run mod support for people these days. Just work has been too busy, and you know, especially with the holidays, you get family obligations and other things you got to do. So it's been tough for me to even find 3 hours a week to do streaming and just kind of chip away at my own projects here. But he didn't, either way, he didn't really seem 100% invested in trying to get it fixed anyway. He had his mindset on starting other projects, is what it seemed like to me. But he also is in the process of rebuilding a Skyrim game too. I think it's probably mostly vanilla at this point, but he's been posting screenshots and stuff. Varon, you say he did find a way to fix his playthroughs? I mean, unless you did something crazy. There are ways to fix it. It's just this time with the engine update, especially with how it handles ESLs, it takes a little bit more work. It's not just a rollback of the Skyrim EXE anymore. There's more to it this time around. Made it much more challenging.
For new and returning runners for the Red Mile.
He has, but he's taking a break from. Okay, good.
On duty. Just get the hell out of my face.
Whether you're here to gamble, participate, or just
4-month time frame to rebuild.
Red Mile has entertainment for everyone.
Likely make completely new characters. I mean, he got a lot of mileage out of those characters that he had on his current Sagaverse. Whenever somebody goes that long with the same character, you kind of got to count your blessings, you know? That's why I tend to... I have higher level Skyrim characters, but typically I'll make a build guide around level 50. And then sometimes if I really liked the character, it was really fun to play, I'll go back and just play that like off camera and level up the rest of the way to like, you know, however like level... It's usually somewhere between level 70 and 80 that I get to, but avoid leveling up for the sake of the build guide. For Skyrim build guides, there's a sort of accepted soft cap of level 50. That's kind of like where
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
Where it stops being like the level ups stop coming as frequently. Those level ups start being a little less accessible. You got to start doing things that are kind of out of the scope of the build in order to keep leveling up if you're not running something like the experience mod or whatever. So typically I will, yeah, here's another, there is some bugginess with third person. I like third person because I like the character models in this game. I think that we need more variety of armor, right? But I think the armor that they have looks really good. I think the character models are vastly improved from Fallout 4. I think the NPCs in this game look great. So I try to play in third person view, but there are some bugs, especially activating things like workbenches, sitting down in your cockpit to take off in your ship. Sometimes it just doesn't trigger correctly.
Pressure holding. Takeoff looks good.
Should have tried to get my ship repaired, but I don't know if they have ship services here. Anyway, I was talking about, yeah, level 50 soft cap. So typically by the end of a playthrough, once I get all my perks and everything that I want and get all the footage that I want, dungeon clears and stuff, for Skyrim, I'm typically usually around level 70 or 80. I just haven't taken any perks up to level 50 or beyond level 50. So sometimes I'll go beyond level 50 on my own and just see what I could have done with that extra 20-some perks, you know. Did they fix the look left sprint issue in one of the... No, not yet. They have not. I know there was some debate about that in Wynn's stream. It seems to happen more with male characters than female characters, but I just got that last night and I'm completely updated on this game. Usually you halt at level 100. Nice. But yeah, it's for Skyrim, you got to count your blessings. Like Magus, even he is meticulous about the way he saves his game and the way he mods his game and everything, and it's usually a very clean, very stable experience. But even he yesterday started hitting stability issues on a long-running save. He was able to get that fixed, which is awesome because that's a great character. I'm glad you were able to save her. A lot of fun to watch. By the way, Magus streams on Twitch. Pretty much, he had his Starfield phase. He's back to Skyrim now, pretty much full time. But it's great. You always learn something. You can learn something about modding. He's always, you know, willing to help teach. So it's always educational. But he also has great character concepts, and the one that he's running right now is a long-running one. Awesome gameplay. Makes full use of some of my favorite perks in Ordinator, like Lion's Arrow, Spell Scribe. So his link is in the description, right down that way. I'm not pointing at my penis, I'm pointing at the description. So go leave him a follow. And I've been trying to catch more of his stuff. Just year beginning for me for work and family stuff has been busy, but you should start catching more of me in his streams and a lot of the usual suspects that you see in my chat as well. So if you're looking to hang out a little more, that's a good place to do it. Gonna reinstall Twitch, but I had to remove a 5G phone, a game on your phone. Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, where are we going? Deliver the package for Salinas. Okay. Going back to New Atlantis, I think. A lot of people don't like the fast travel system or the loading screens on this. It doesn't bother me. As somebody who... I love open world travel, but if I start having to backtrack back and forth, I start fast traveling in Skyrim anyway. So I'm not actually seeing many more loading screens in Skyrim or in Starfield than I do in Skyrim, but I know that your mileage may differ on that. If you're very vastly opposed to fast travel, I can see how you wouldn't like this. So it's a criticism that I think is well earned. I just don't think that they can do anything to fix it just based on what their system is here, you know? They have promised new ways of traversal, new ways of getting around in this next update, so we'll see where they go. Residential. I thought this was down in the well. Maybe not. All right, let's just get down to the residential district then. Semi-busy here too. Yeah, holidays are always rough. I'll go back to Starfield for a bit when the official tools are out. Oh yeah, cool.
Mine is
yeah,
currently Whetstone, but it changes.
This game has been so like divisive and controversial, and I can't see. For me, it's like, okay, every BGS game has had criticisms that are well earned. Every single one. Vanilla Skyrim, even well modded Skyrim, still has issues that are a pain in the ass. Even like if you perfectly mod Skyrim to the best of anybody's ability, you're still gonna have shit that's wrong with Skyrim, right? Every BGS game that I've loved in spite of its many flaws, and this game is no different. For me, it's hard to see the hate for this game, and I can't help but think a lot of it comes from their monetized mod stuff, right? I think whoever was in charge of making the decision of announcing the paid mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4 and Starfield amidst sort of mixed review for this game, I think that the hate train would have alleviated and people would have started dropping positive reviews again if not for that paid mod stuff that just created a bunch of negative sentiment for BGS, and that just trickled right down into the sentiment for this game too. But yeah, I mean, as it stands on its own as a game, it's really good. People give the criticism that, you know, it's as wide as an ocean but deep as a puddle. That's the same exact criticism that people were given Oblivion back in the day, even Morrowind to some degree. And that game is that game's not shallow at all. I think what brought that criticism back to the forefront in so many people's minds is that Starfield is so much wider than any other of the BGS games. So that ocean looks a lot bigger. It's still as deep as any other vanilla BGS game. It's certainly as deep as Fallout 4 was. And even Skyrim's not that deep when you get right into it. It's not as wide, right? There's not as much to explore. There's not 1,000, semi-empty planets to look at. But what is there is just compressed into a smaller area. Not that there's any, less of it in Starfield. It's just spread out a lot more.
From time to time, not very often.
But yeah, I don't know. I was kind of bummed out about the negativity of Starfield, and it kind of made me have to disengage from social media for a while, because it's like I've loved this game from the very beginning, and it's hard to see, people poo-pooing on something that you love constantly, even if you get the criticism for it. Here's that package for you. Yeah, this is the guy that I thought. I don't know why it sent me all the way to the residential district for it.
Held up your end of the bargain, so I'll do the same. Salina's hardware is now open for business. I'll unlock the door for
well, I mean, if you're going between planets, you want it to be fast, right? Exactly. Yeah, I don't... People want that No Man's Sky experience of flying from space through the atmosphere to the ground until they play No Man's Sky and decide they realize suddenly why BGS didn't want to do that. I'm sure they could have. Their system doesn't really support it. They can load a new world space a lot easier than they can stream it in the background. But I don't. That doesn't matter to me. I don't need to see it. And if other people do, I think they can easily fix it with a small little cutscene during the loading screens. The other thing about the loading screens in this game is, yeah, there's a lot of them. I don't think there's any more than Skyrim if you're, a regular partaker of fast travel in Skyrim, but it loads so much faster than any other BGS game, so that to me it's the loading screens don't really matter that much because they're so quick. Now that depends on your hardware, right? But Starfield in its system requirements does require a fast SSD, and it is an Xbox Series exclusive. It could run on PlayStation, probably run really well on PlayStation if they decided to optimize it. But all the current gen consoles have super fast storage, faster than most gaming PCs, certainly faster than mine, even with an NVMe drive. So yeah, you do have to see a lot of loading screens, but you only see them for a second or two at a time.
Any adventure
also, fuck the paid mods. Yeah, I agree. No, I've never agreed with the paid mod things. There is two sides to that, though. The reason why most people hate paid mods is because they immediately think of horse armor and Bethesda's egregious cut that they take that they don't really need, right? Especially now working for Microsoft, why they need a nickel and dime players so much. And for the record, I don't think that's a Microsoft thing. Microsoft games are usually really good about microtransactions. Even their live service games are not pushy about it. I think that these things have been in the pipeline of Bethesda for a long time, and I think it's more of a ZeniMax legacy than it is anything Microsoft. From everything that I've heard, Microsoft has been very, very hands-off on its acquisitions, and in this case, I think that they should be a little more hands-on and say, no, we can't, we can't be doing this with, especially as well as Starfield sold. It was in like the top 10s of games sold on Steam, and playtime on Steam, right? Playtime per install. It did much better than the vast majority of other releases on Steam. This game is a hit on release. People are playing this game a lot. A lot of people bought it, even though you can get it for free with a free trial of Game Pass. People are still buying this game. It's Bethesda's best-selling launch game ever. So they don't, they didn't need the extra money. I think it's just, you know, probably PR or marketing people trying to make their bonuses that were in what the hell am I doing here? Speak to Hackett. Oh yeah, I don't know if I want to do the whole strikers thing. Let's do some main quest stuff. Yeah, I don't think they need it. I think it was just some Bethesda marketer trying to hit their bonus numbers for the end of the year. Had to get this project out. I can't imagine that it's, I mean, Todd has said things that he does want modders to be able to make a living, and then he goes and takes a 70% cut of their earnings. Doesn't really jibe to me. And I don't think Todd really needs the money, and it doesn't add to any creative vision for any game. Maybe I'm a Todd-pologist. A Todd-apologist? I don't know. It doesn't add up to me. I think there's some other money people behind the scenes trying to make this thing happen for their own benefit. Let's see. Kitty Tail will coming out dark Hierophant soon. Oh, okay, so a new Kitty Tail mod? I haven't used any of Kitty Tail's mods, but they do look highly, like high quality. Well made. Some very interesting spells and stuff. Most people are joining the hate bandwagon, so I just ignore them. Yeah, I tried to do the same. I like it, criticize it, but it's not bad. It could have been better at launch, but I wouldn't have paid the $100 for day one access if I thought it would be garbage. Sure. And for what it's worth, this I play a lot of AAA games on release. Starfield was one of the best like AAA games that, in terms of performance, in terms of stability, it had a good release compared to so many other bad releases. Not saying that that makes it acceptable. In fact, they got that DLSS 3, DLSS 2, and the performance fixes out pretty quickly, like within a month, I think, like that, right? Why couldn't they just spend another month on the game and get that in for launch? I think that had to do with their AMD partnership, honestly, because all that stuff had to do with NVIDIA stuff, except for maybe the CPU. So another performance issue that it had on launch was that it wasn't using all CPU cores properly. Now it's using much more of the CPU much more effectively, and you are getting performance boost from it regardless of what your GPU is. So that's all good. Where the hell am I going now? Oh yeah, we're gonna go hook up with Walter Stroud. All that money can buy. Am I still here at New Atlantis? I am. Okay. So I was ranting for a minute. Oh yeah, so yeah, I mean, compared to other AAA games, Cyberpunk, a lot of people like to compare Starfield unfavorably with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was, you want to talk about a piece of garbage at launch. That thing was trash. And I still loved it. I still played it for, 200 hours on launch. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's like I can see the good game past its flaws. I can see what it can become and what it does become. It's like, okay, so
Comfort in the idea
Cyberpunk
that the
was
odds
still
of
in
saving
a
King's
playable
here
shape,
are
right?
at an all-time low.
There wasn't any compilation stutter on it or anything. The problem with Cyberpunk is on slower, like lower spec machines, it was basically unplayable, and that was a huge failure on their part. They completely failed to keep their promise to people who had pre-ordered it for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and people with like traditional, conventional hard drives on their rigs. They basically couldn't play the game that they spent the money on. And I'm not saying that makes it okay for Starfield to launch in the shape that it did, but compared to pretty much almost every other AAA game, Starfield was pretty polished from what I played.
About an artifact. And our goal
Cyberpunk was bad. Jedi,
is a freelance operative
both Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor were terrible. Dead Space was terrible.
I just need a little more
Resident Evil 4 was still good, but it still had some stutter. Hogwarts Legacy was a stuttery mess on my machine, and I have a top spec machine. Starfield launched in a much better state than Hogwarts did, in my experience. Let's see what other AAA games released. Diablo 4 was actually pretty good. I was surprised by that. And I guess that Avatar game that everybody's playing. Baldur's Gate is a different story. Baldur's Gate still had issues when it launched, but that's been in early access for years now. People have been playing that for years.
That settles it then. We just need to make a few stops when we get to the city, and then the drinks.
So they've had a long time to fix
me.
that game. That one doesn't really count.
As long as the drinking comes after the negotiation, or whatever this is going to entail.
It'll be easy.
The right
I
side and the paid mod
promise.
side. Yeah, so the two
I'll
sides for
passenger
the
on your
paid
ship
mods.
until we get to
I see
Neon.
stuff that King
Just
Ath is
let me
doing
know
with
when
that
you're ready to
with that Conquest mod. King Ath is a fantastic mod author. He's doing some amazing things with the sim settlements
Star system.
mods in Fallout 4 that you wouldn't even think was possible with a mod. He's basically rewriting that game to be something else. It's really, really impressive. So if he's doing stuff like that for Skyrim, not really my cup of tea, but when you see like a $10 price tag on a creation for something like that, my first knee-jerk reaction is, okay, yeah, that's worth it. If you're into something like that, it's making that kind of change to your game. Not to mention the work that he and he's got a whole development and QA team working on that mod, and others. He's set up a whole studio now for paid mods. I'm actually interested and excited to see what he's doing. I probably won't buy anything because typically I like to use mods to tweak my game instead of completely redefine it. So I'm usually just looking for more content, better texture packs, meshes, and then things like gameplay tweaks that expand buildcraft and graphical overhauls, bug fixes, things like that. And I can get all that for free mod. So I'm probably never, unless they do like something that has ridiculous value, like that AE content update that everybody bought that had all the Creation Club stuff from Skyrim in it for like a ridiculously cheap price, then I'm probably not gonna buy any of these creations. It's just there's a better, doesn't matter how good a modder is, a single non-DLC quest is not worth $7. Maybe it's 7. Yeah, AE had everything for 14 and the base game. Yep. At that point, you're kind of stupid not to buy it. This is somewhere between. This is probably closer on the DLC side. It's definitely beefier than something like Hearthfire, I would say. The King Ath Conquest stuff, the Dungeon Conquest stuff. I don't know if you've looked into it, Magus, but it is very interesting. Not something that I want to add to my game, but if it were a mod, a non-paid mod, I think people would be going completely bonkers for something like this. Kind of like what they did with, oh, what was that one? Where you're able to conquer like a fort and then put your flag up for it. Kind of like an outpost system in Skyrim. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, right? Regardless of how good it is, there's probably a better version on the Nexus or, you know, wherever your favorite modders alternate repo is for their mods. Patreon or whatever. If they don't like Nexus stuff. That's another thing. It's like, that's another thing I've had to kind of disengage from social media for. It's just like, I'm playing video games because they're fun, right? And now there's there's an outrage over everything. There's an outrage over Nexus and their practices. There's an outrage over BGS and their practices. There's an outrage over the state that Starfield was in. There's an outrage over Hogwarts Legacy for unrelated reasons. There's an outrage for everything, and I'm just trying to play video games and have fun and talk about them, and then all of a sudden now I'm in a political debate with everybody else who's playing these games. It's like I need a rest from it. That is why I'm usually cheery about game releases. To me, there's nothing more magical than being excited for a game that I want to play, right? That's what keeps me feeling young. That's like what I get excited about is, oh my god, BGS is coming out with a new game. I can't wait to play it. There's a new Street Fighter coming out this month, and it looks really good. I can't wait to play it. And then I ride that hype. And then usually it takes me through the launch of the game. Sometimes it doesn't. Jedi Survivor was terrible. Callisto Protocol was terrible, and Dead Space was terrible, but most of the games that I'm excited for end up being really good despite their flaws, in my opinion. I get your point, but at the same time, we're also trying to play games too, but when they're updating a 12-year-old... Yeah, no, I agree. They did fart in people's dinner. It's like you're eating good with this Skyrim SE and all these mods and everything, and all of a sudden BGS comes along and drops a turd of an update right on your plate. Then here you go, deal with it.
You're good. Welcome to Neon.
To me, it wasn't any different than any other release because I've been so rigorous about my backups and avoiding updates and things like that. I've been through it a few times to know how to deal with it. So for me, nothing had changed. It was just another crappy update like everything else. But yeah, looking into the details of it, the stuff that worked to fix it before did not work to fix it now.
Oh,
AE was its own game. Yeah, no, I've been saying that from the very beginning. The second AE dropped and everybody had issues with it, with that update, I was like, why didn't they just make this a new game? And I think you agreed with me too. Day one, we were talking about that. No, that would have that would have made everybody happy except for Bethesda marketing. I think they were trying to ride the install base of Skyrim SE. Where the hell am I going?
More about what you take with you when you leave Neon than what you bring into it.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's some marketer trying to get their bonus with Bethesda from the ZeniMax days, I think. They were trying to ride that SE install base to drive more sales through Creation Club. Creation Club is somebody's baby. Paid mods is somebody's baby, and it's one person. You know, it's one person in that BGS organization that's pushing for this so that they can get more money out of Skyrim. I don't think it's Todd. He's a creative director. He doesn't really have anything to do with the money aspect. He happens to be a charismatic son of a bitch, so they're the ones that he's the one that they use as their mouthpiece. He's the one that they push out there on the stage for all the conventions and everything, but yeah, I used to think it was probably Pete Hines. I always sensed like some underlying tension between Todd and Pete, but Pete's been retired now for a while. Then everyone would have received Starfield better too. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. It's a snowballing negativity effect, and I don't think all of it has to do, I don't think much of it has to do with Starfield as a game, because the game that I'm playing is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. That's... It's taken me a while to get to the state where I can actually talk about it and not have a fucking panic attack.
The effort to make this place livable is astounding. There's no end.
Better goodwill to gamers. Yeah, I think BGS has a lot of goodwill to make up for it. They're kind of where CDPR was after Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was another one that I was in love with even at launch in its busted ass state. And they did come around. They won their goodwill back through, you know, years of updates and fixes and you know, just keeping their head down, keeping their mouth shut, don't argue with bad reviews, just fix the damn game, make people happy.
Sensory overload.
One thing that Cyberpunk had in its corner that I'm not sure Starfield has the ability to do, they captured lightning in a bottle with that Edge Runner series.
I don't know about you, but I am starting
Even
to
if you're
suspect
not into
that
Cyberpunk, I highly recommend watching that Edge Runners series
Clearly the
on
intent is to get us
Netflix.
into the
It is so
astral
good.
lounge. Shall we follow the signs?
They captured lightning in a bottle with that. That was really good, and
Walter
that got
is
people
very
interested
proud
in the
of his
world of
business.
Cyberpunk, and they're like,
And he should be.
And then they
His
started looking
ships are very
into
high quality.
how,
Right. I just need to have a short chat with
you know,
my
what kind of state
counterpart.
Cyberpunk is. Did they fix it? It looked good,
Yes.
and then all of a
Allow me
sudden
to
everybody
question
was
myself.
complaining about how bad it was. I wonder if they fixed it now after watching that anime series. And then they start seeing, oh yeah, they've had a bunch of bug
Walter.
fixes. Things are working now, and then they check it out and it's like, holy shit, this
Shall
game
we
is
continue
awesome.
From last time?
I'm hoping Starfield can have a moment like that, but without
without
something like Edge Runners, I'm
Investing into
not
it
sure
is a
it's gonna happen
mistake.
for them. They're definitely not gonna
No,
win
I'm
people
here
back
about
with an
great
awesome
endings
paid
of
mod,
mistake.
right?
Our ship designers are the best in the settled
Pete is
systems.
douchey enough that I would have
They
been my
design
first. That would have been my
personal
girl.
craft
Yeah,
and military ships, Walter.
I never was a big
Large-scale
fan of Pete.
accommodations and hospitality is a completely different beast. Oh, I'm
So I haven't modded
sorry. Here I
Starfield.
am
I've said it
arguing
from
with my
August
partner,
31st. Starfield doesn't
and you're
need
just
mods at
standing
all.
right here.
No,
Lisa
I think it will
Eklund,
benefit from them,
hyphenated
though.
Eklund in our
Not the
glorious
paid
company's
mods.
branding.
I enjoy SF as it is. Vanilla, even its vanilla lighting to me looks like it's yeah. I think I mentioned that earlier. I think the lighting in this game looks phenomenal. Looks great. Huge upgrade from any of the other games. I am interested to see what modders. They've already done some pretty crazy stuff. Modders have without even the official tools. Kind of confused how they're actually.
Ah, yes.
They're
the
actually
daring
doing some of this stuff.
explorers My partner is so infatuated with. You should hear him recite.
Tried several of the LUTs and they all ruined. Yeah, no. So there is. They have like a color filter that they put on for it, and it's a dynamic color filter that when you go into a cave, everything like turns like reddish brown. When you come out of the cave, certain planets will have like a blue filter, and then like things like the well has a different filter than New Atlantis does. And some people are picky enough with what comes through their eyeballs that that's all they see is the filter. They don't see the overall picture. Me, I think that filter adds a lot to it. I think it looks good, and I think you're in the same boat, Magus, from what I'm hearing there.
Oh, this wouldn't have anything to do with that meeting you've set up at the Astro Lounge.
What's up, Karn? It's been a while. Sorry about that, dealing with personal stuff.
Agent hack into my
Oh yeah,
files
not a problem at all.
Only
Welcome back,
after you
Paul.
had one hack into mine. Tell me, can mutual distrust lead to a point
I like
where it's
those
actually the
commercial
same as
grade
mutual
carpet
trust?
squares. Yeah. Also, the materials in this game look great. I mean, metal looks like metal. Fabric looks like fabric. This looks like a thick kind of like textured fabric. The pants and everything look really good. And Walter's gonna get really pissed at me, looking his wife up and down here. But that's okay.
A remarkably insecure location for a clandestine meeting.
That was the point.
With
Neutral
new, they should left
territory,
mod
no?
and Creation Club.
With
Should
no
never been
leverage.
linked.
You must let me help.
Yeah, that's a big complaint people have too. I've never touched
I have this all
the
taken
Bethesda net, the in-game modding thing. It does seem that two-tiered system does seem unfair. At least it has the potential for unfairness, but it also has the potential for fairness.
Bribe a few bouncers.
If they just put a few promoted paid ones at the top, and then they have the unpaid free mods on the bottom, I think that's fine. That's not something that makes my stomach royal. But if they're filling up the entire front page with paid mods and then make you hunt for the if they make you hunt for the free ones, that's no fun. That's no good either. And that's where I'm like, I don't blame modders for just taking their stuff off Bethesda net.
But I would like some time with my husband.
That's not something I have any argument against. Yeah, I mean, if that two-tier system is as egregious, I haven't seen it. If it's as egregious as it has the potential to be, then yeah, take your shit off of there. Don't deal with that.
Here, let me at least
make it a paid mod only system.
Meet me back here.
See how well that works out for Bethesda.
I'm not leaving you to the neon sharks, I promise.
I feel like, okay, for Bethesda.net, for a modder to put something on Bethesda.net, you have to be willing to deal with, first of all, a small amount of people, relatively to the people who actually play the game, and I think relatively to PC modders, that also have special needs in terms of what their hardware is running and how to get it to work with other mods. So automatically they're more of a, even if they're like a good, quote-unquote good console modder, they're still going to be more of a pain in the ass than any PC modder because they don't have the tools available to be able to diagnose their shit, right? So in my opinion, it's like, why as a modder would you even put anything on Bethesda.net? Unless you're running a Patreon or something, you're trying to make money off of it from that account, and that's like just another
Feel like making a purchase today?
Limited source of income that you can add to your already limited stream, and you need to need to branch out that way, then no. I would be in favor of a boycott of Bethesda.net modding uploads. That'll send a message. We don't want your paid mods, especially the two-tiered system. Oh, you can tell she's at work. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, a lot of the character models look a little Botoxy, little facelifty. Every time you load the page, it's Arthmore and people from his site. Ugh. Because of course it would be. Great. Yeah. Let's talk about Botoxy. Yeah. Yeah, talk about injecting negativity into your fun hobby. Any mention of Arthmore and his people. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Sounds like you have a problem with Sieghart's. Oh God. What? All right.
Oh, I don't have a problem with his place. My problem is Siegert himself.
See, the lighting in this game is great.
No respect
the neon sign in the back is properly emitting light into his shirt. The fabrics look great. And then the dynamic shadows from the lights coming off of his head onto his shirt are also updating in real time. Not to mention the yellow lights on top of his head. This looks great. This looks awesome. Bethesda games have never looked so good, and I'm here for it. Let's see. Keeping his place safe sounds like smart business to me.
Yeah, sure. If all you care about is yourself.
Damn phone internet. Yeah, sorry to hear about that, Mr. B.
Security's corruption. He's setting a bad precedent that many merchants.
Not that it's going to help much, but I know when my internet goes down every once in a while, I'm able to set my phone to work as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and it differs depending on what kind of phone you use or what version of Android or iOS you have, but there's almost always a way to turn that into a wireless router that you can use for internet on your PC, as long as you have like a Wi-Fi adapter or a Bluetooth, something. I mean, at some point I will move PC Master Race, but it's just cost really put off. Yeah, no, it's when you talk about your PC as your gaming rig, now that's a barrier to entry, right? Oh man, I still have my Dying Night handgunner up from my Cyberpunk stream. All right, let me fix that real quick here. Let me fix it. There it is. Had to check myself out in the camera, you know. Make sure that my beard is popping. My pecs look sharp. Yeah, they look good. Build looks good. Beard looks good. Boobs look good. So you set up a meeting with Walter Stroud recently.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
Well, I happen to know that you did. So one of the things that I love about a New Game Plus run is these Starborn dialogue options. Okay, so a lot of people are hating on the writing for this game, and that's another one. That's another criticism that I don't really get. I started with Oblivion, and I was really sort of enamored with the writing in that game. So the main quest wasn't anything special. I don't think it was bad, right? It's not going to give you a tight narrative-led story like you're going to get in Cyberpunk, because that's very character specific, and writing something that tight and meaningful, it really has to revolve around one character. And in a game that you can play any character that you want, it has to loosen up the story a little bit. But the little side quests and stuff in Oblivion, I thought were fantastic. They were very creative. They were charming. There were a lot of them that you could just walk into a random room in a random castle and find like some distressed damsel in distress. And then she would tell you a very unique story with a cool little implementation, and it would send you on a very unique quest. And 99% of players probably would never have found that. I'm talking of the one of the dude who went missing in that painting. And then you have like the painted trolls and stuff that you have to fight. You have to go into the painting like it's freaking Mario 64 or something. Where the hell is this taking me? And then Fallout 3 came out. Fallout 3 was great with that too. A lot of cool little side stories. Oh, another bounty hunter, I see. I think there's a Trackers Alliance person. I think I did the one in Sidonia on Mars, but I haven't done them on any other city yet. I don't even know that I've seen the one in New Atlantis. Is there even one in New Atlantis? Oh, by the way, how's the Steger build going? The Steger build is on the roadmap. So I have 3 or 4 videos, Starfield videos, that are about, you know, somewhere between 40 and 60% done that I want to upload and I want to get through. The only thing that they're missing are little pieces of footage that I need from specific spots in the game for Starfield. So I'm focusing on getting to those points in the game for Starfield. Once I get those little footage clips that I need from this game, then I'll move back to Skyrim and really focus on getting the Steger build out. The Steger build, the build itself is probably 80%, 90% done. I need to write up the script for the build guide on it, but I have all the tactics, the special moves, and everything ready to go. The perks are pretty much all in place. The roleplay stuff is all in place. The combos are all in place. I need to settle on some endgame gear.
But if you're here for something a little more,
and I want to try out some new cinematic things for the some new concepts for the Steger build guide, so it's not just kind of a fire hydrant of dry information that I'm feeding right into your brain, right? I want to add some entertainment appeal to it. Actually, I use a lot of chems, but I roleplay them as being nanobots as the Cyberneticist.
Not at the Astral Lounge, my friend. In fact, this is the only place.
So the build itself, in terms of gameplay and stuff, is almost done.
Administrator Bayou
I need to
buy
rush
it,
the
you
main
can
quest
use it
on the
anywhere
Steger.
in the neon that you'd like.
But you'll start
Except
seeing a lot
space
more of the
force.
Steger once I get these Starfield videos out. I just want to focus on getting to a point in Starfield where I can finish these videos, and that's what I'm spending my time on right now. And then I'll go back to Skyrim. I have probably a good dozen.
Then what are we waiting
dozen
for?
build
Let's set
ideas
you up.
rolling around in my head in various
take a look at the menu.
states. I've written
Now, not
down
going
some
to lie.
ideas on
Yours
others. I
is a
have
bit
fully
expensive, but let's face it,
fully functional
you really do
ideas on
price
other
of
ones that I
pleasure.
just need to write out and get started on. But there's plenty of Skyrim content coming. I just need to get past the Starfield hump first. One thing that really slowed me down in my content creation was trying to get to New Game Plus 10 in this game, because playing on very hard is not the hardest difficulty level in this game. Playing on very hard, New Game Plus 10 is the hardest difficulty level in this game, and I wanted to make sure that if I was doing build guides for it, that they were viable on the hardest difficulty level.
Can't think of what to say.
So, this game has commanded a lot of my attention since it came out. Which, honestly, I expected, and I'm glad it has. Because that means that Bethesda did something right. By me, anyway. I have a meeting here later, worried about security.
The Astral Lounge is one of the safest places in all of Neon. Security is hand-picked from the
Well, the beard
finest
is popping at
officers
least.
in the city.
Yeah. No, the pecs aren't bouncing as much as they used to, but...
I see. Well, congratulations on your intelligence network. They clearly have done their job.
Still looking next build night, was it for... Yes, Warrior. More of an Oblivion-styled Warrior. And actually, I might be expanding that to a Guardians series. So you know how you have the Guardian stones that have the Thief, the Mage, and the Warrior stones? I'm kicking around an idea where I do a series where I'm running those three classes simultaneously. And I don't know how to do it in a way where they interact at all yet. Kind of something like how EJ does. Or something like how Icarus did in his saga.
It makes a lot of sense, now that I think about it.
I just don't know if I want to put the
Well,
effort into
I think
creating
we can certainly
NPCs
offer
for
a
each one of my builds, you know?
discounted rate for you,
That sounds like a
if
lot to
you
me,
were still
especially
interested.
with how, you know, intensive my build guides get.
Of course.
Oh shit, I fucked that up, didn't I?
Come back soon.
I need to be able to... Here we go. Got distracted. It's your guys' fault. But yeah, the idea is I want to get the basic Skyrim stuff, the basic Skyrim builds out of the way, because Anai adds a lot of juice to those basic classes, right? And an Irem warrior is way more interesting than a vanilla Oblivion warrior, right? Who's just heavy armor, block one-handed, maybe two-handed, and archery as a supplement. She looks like a recruitable crew member. Yeah, missile weapons specialist. Nice. Come back for her. God damn it, get out of my way.
Can I get you something to drink? Yeah, you're new here.
Now watch me fail the persuasion checks now.
Oh, we have plenty of that. Here, you take... The Astral Lounge is one of the safest places in all of Neon. Security is hand-picked from the finest officers in the city. I see. Congratulations on your intelligence network. They clearly have done their job. I think the Astral Lounge will be more than happy to put you on the VIP list. I'll inform our security. We do strive for setting the most reasonable rate.
Not that I don't have the money for this. I have something like 500,000 credits.
Not currently, I'm afraid. Unless you'd like to purchase it on their behalf.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely failing this persuasion check.
Look, I'd like to help.
Critical success, there we go.
Well, I think we can certainly.
But you get more
offer a
experience for
discounted
persuading, so I always try to do it.
If you were
and they
still
went through, they obviously put a lot of work into the dialogue in this game, so I try to experience as much of it as I can.
We do hope your meeting goes.
So yeah,
to your
anyway, I was talking
satisfaction.
about the writing in Starfield. A lot of people kind of crap on it, and I don't really know why, because yeah, so Oblivion had some great side quests, great writing in my opinion. So did Fallout 3, and then Skyrim came out, and it didn't have as many of those interesting side quests, those interesting, charming, well-written little pieces of world building. And then Fallout 4 was kind of even a regression from even Skyrim. And then Starfield came out, and I think they went all the way back to what Oblivion was doing in those terms. Okay, so we bought stuff off now. Good. So I don't know. People are saying that the writing is bad. So some creators that I actually agree with a lot and enjoy their content, Belisarius and Zacharon, they have both made vague qualitative statements about just the quality of like the writing. They say that the writing in Starfield is bad, but they don't really say why. It's not really a quantitative analysis at all. They just said writing Starfield bad. But for me, it's on par with Oblivion. Completely on par with Oblivion. I like the main quest. I think it's well done. I like the side quests even better. I think the side quests do a lot to build the world. My guess is they probably both didn't like the writing in Oblivion and Fallout 3 either, but I love those games. In terms of writing and stuff like that, they're probably more in line with Obsidian stuff, so Fallout New Vegas, Outer Worlds, that kind of thing. Which that does fall into two camps, right? I tend to bounce off of Obsidian stuff. That was freaking badass. I knew that Andresia could do that. I know that she has a chameleon effect when you're sneaking, but it just looks so cool to see it. I was like, whoa. I think he's a different type, more hardcore role player. Sure. Hey, there's Haster. Happy New Year to you too, buddy. Glad to see you. Oh, and there's the wind. I see a wild wind blow through. Welcome, wind. Hope you're doing well. Glad to see ya. Yeah, if I don't see you guys right away, it's not me being an asshole or ignoring you. I had to set my chat latency a little slower because I was getting dropped frames. Not a single dropped frame today, though. That's good. Yeah, so I think the people who want to go into the deeper roleplay stuff are more drawn to the Obsidian, Fallout New Vegas stuff. And the people who are happier just to kind of like kill enemies and they want just a fun little story to play while they're doing it, probably like the BGS stuff. And I'm in the BGS camp. Zarek and Belly are probably in the Obsidian camp on that. I don't remember the last Obsidian game. It was probably Fallout New Vegas. Outer World, I put 10 hours into on 2 separate occasions, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It just felt like it was trying to be a BGS game, but just not as good. In terms of exploration, in terms of combat. Anybody even in here? What am I even trying to do? Search the cellar's sleep crate. Okay. I should probably actually quick save before I do this, because What in the hell? Who's coming at me right now? Oh, it's a disciple, huh?
You're not walking out of here. Even when I see it with my own eyes, it is still hard to believe.
they all upstairs? Just throwing grenades at people? That's not cool. This is probably because I started the Strikers side quest, and now the Disciples are after me. Where are you shooting me from? Oh, there you go. This is really hard to see. Who's next? Where are you? All right. Whatever. Get through here. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I think Starfield is on par with Oblivion and Fallout 3 with its side quest writing. I really enjoy it. Lots of small little side quests that you can get lost in a city. You can find some random NPC who sends you on some quest, and it's yeah, sometimes it's a stinker. Not great, but most of the time I've been like, oh wow, that was a cool little side quest. Glad they put that in there. And it goes a long way toward world building that that many people accuse are missing in this game. I think it's about on par with any other BGS game in terms of world building, honestly. The Elder Scrolls and Fallout have the benefit of a world building that has been established for decades now, right? Even before Fallout 3 took over, or Bethesda took over Fallout, that series has been... That series has been established for several iterations of that game. So it's a little lighter in terms of established lore, but I haven't thought of it as anything egregious. It hasn't been offensive, in my opinion. Yeah, a lot of lore to draw from. And to be fair, they don't always do it justice either. They retcon their own lore constantly in both of those games, both of those series. So, I don't know. Maybe it's better that they start from scratch so they don't have to piss any lore wonks off for incorrectly interpreting or changing stuff retroactively.
Walter is very proud of his business, and he should be. His ships are very high quality.
Thank you, Aster. you spelled Twitch very, very incorrectly on that first one, but you got it right the second time. There you go. Thank you for that. Joe, the Panicked Monk has actually been much more active on his YouTube channel lately than his Twitch channel. He's got a pretty cool Let's Play going on with his mage, sort of spell sword / battle mage character that he's got going on. Good stuff. Joe has been around, the Panicked Monk has been around for a very long time, and he taught a lot of us, along with Couch Warrior,
the Astral Lounge.
most of what we know about role-playing in these games.
Goodbye, my dear.
So the roleplay is top tier.
Oh, I'll be keeping an eye on this
you can
little
learn
operation,
a little
just in
something
case.
by watching his
Good luck.
stuff about really getting into the headspace of your character and getting the most out of your game that way. It was those, oh, what did they call them? It was the Couch Warrior podcasts. What were those called? Now I can't think of the name of the podcast. Character Crusade. It was the Character Crusade stuff that really got me into role-playing these games, and through that it's like, okay, this is how you're supposed to be playing these BGS games, right? And I still go do just the just play stuff, especially like on stream when I'm trying to do buildcraft stuff. But a lot of the permadeath stuff that you've seen, I really try to go deep in some of the role play and talk about what makes a lot of these characters tick and everything. And a lot of that stuff I learned from the Panicked Monk and Couch Warrior.
I don't know
Good
what
stuff.
the cellar looks like, but they'll have a security briefcase with them.
You don't know why the word roleplay makes you giggle today? I know why.
The artifact. We should split up.
Because you're thinking roleplay in the bedroom.
As the buyer is
Honestly, I think that's
Ramsey
what
and
90% of people, when they hear roleplay, they're like, oh, you're into roleplay, huh? You playing a doctor in the bedroom? Yeah, no, but most of us in chat, we hear roleplay and we're like, oh yeah. Deep exploration of character psyche, yeah. Getting into the headspace of a Skyrim character, sure. We know, Wind. Yeah, we know. It's giving me way more credit than deserved. Character Crusade was a lot of fun and the podcast can still be found if... Yeah, I don't think I've given you too much credit, Joe. I don't.
Code phrases? Under different circumstances, Walter, I think you might have made an adequate
Yeah, I still go back and listen to those podcasts.
Ramsey and Travers.
In the game, yeah. Right. Right. In the game, she says. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so you can always go back and rewatch those Character Crusade podcasts. I think they're on the Couch Warrior TV channel still. I think he's got a playlist of them. Last year I had to drive from Portland down back to Phoenix, helping my brother move some stuff down. And I had Joe and Stu keep me company the whole way. I downloaded all those podcasts. Where the hell am I going? No idea what's going on. Locate the cellar. Okay. There's still a lot to be learned from those podcasts. If you're trying to get more out of your Skyrim game or your Fallout game or your Starfield game, even to a more limited degree, this is the guy I'm looking for, I think. Something like Cyberpunk or The Witcher. Their instruction, their suggestions, their kind of lessons on roleplay work better for an open-ended game like BGS games. And that's one thing that people don't give these games enough credit for, is that you can play the character that you want to play and play them however you want to play. Games that are objectively better in most ways, like Cyberpunk, which, you know, it has better graphics, it has a better, tighter narrative, the world is more fleshed out than other BGS games. They still don't allow you to have both an open-ended on the beginning and on the end character that you can, it's a blank slate, you can make up anything you want and actually see in-game effects from your roleplay decisions. And so that's another thing. That's one of the reasons why a comparison to Cyberpunk and Starfield, they're kind of apples and oranges, because their strengths lie in different areas. But you can use a lot of the tips and tricks that they give you in that Character Crusade podcast for things like The Witcher and for Cyberpunk, just to a more limited degree. It'll help you decide what side quests to do next, the dialogue options that you choose and stuff. You're always going to be playing V. V's still going to be kind of a sarcastic anti-hero. Asshole hero character, right? That is about to die and trying to deal with either losing their identity or losing their life. That's the story that Cyberpunk is telling. But within that story, you can tell your own little stories and, you know, little, like another thing, like the daily rituals, like maybe they need a spunky monkey before every battle, because they did it once and the caffeine kick kind of made them feel like a gorilla going into battle, and they killed like 5 different gangers or something like that and made a bunch of money. And now that spunky monkey has become a ritual. Every time that he is about to do a gig, he always has to have a spunky monkey energy drink, something like that. Just little rituals and stuff you can still do in Cyberpunk. In the game. So yeah, RP has extreme connotations. Kinky RP. There's work-related RP. Okay, everyone, we're going to form breakout groups and RP some scenario. Oh yeah, user roleplay. There's you can do that for use cases if you're an engineer or a front-end designer, and you can also do that if you have a sales job. Salespeople roleplay stuff all the time. Despite all the past and recent slamming of Starfield, I'm enjoying my time. Yeah, me too. Me too. There is a lot of fluff, a lot of filler in this game, but you don't have to engage with all of it, right?
Busy drinking.
The good stuff is still the good stuff, and it's right up there with the other BGS games, in my opinion. I'm right there with you, Wind. Let's see. The hell? Code for aid, Ramsey and Travers. Okay.
Something you need?
I am with Ramsey and Travers.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I heard you all have a meeting in a few minutes, don't you? In one of those fancy VIP lounges? Speaking of which, I gotta get going myself.
The more you play this game, though, the more you start seeing reused character models all over the place. Like, the poor kids in this game. Cora, Annie Wilcox, and the one that you, the kid that you... Cora, is it Sora? The one that you rescue in Sarah's companion questline. They're all exactly the same, the same character model. It's just a complete copy and paste job. Speaking of copy and paste, look at this guy here.
Take it easy.
Same guy, different voice. Copy and paste. This character model is the same character model with different hair as the security chief in New Atlantis. Same guy.
Excuse me?
Yeah, every once in a while you see two of the exact same character model right next to each other. It's a little funny. That comes along. Cyberpunk does that exact same thing too. You see exact copy and paste jobs of NPCs walking down the street all the time in that game too. So this isn't really a knock on Starfield as it being better or worse than any other game, but they have made good improvement to the crowd density in this game for minimal performance loss too. So that's impressive. Good job on that. That's kind of a double-edged sword too. I'll talk about that in a second.
Now, before we head in there, let me go over the ground rules. He'll ask for twice what we agreed on. That's normal. He'll probably try to walk out. That's normal too.
Yeah, so
don't worry about the amount we actually settle on. The Stroud-Eklund Discretionary Fund is just a chip to you and me. Our goal is to get him to accept that chip in exchange for the artifact. Anything goes as long as it's in our hands, and we're not dead. How does that sound?
Close the deal, get the artifact. Gotcha.
This'll be fun. I find matching wits with the neon underworld to always be invigorating.
Walter's getting an old man boner thinking about negotiating. Old white men get all excited when they're about to enter a bargaining arrangement. Okay. I hated role-playing it. Yeah, it is. It's terrible. Role-playing at work? Yeah, not fun. Well, it can be fun, but usually it's not. Work tends to try to suck all the fun out of things, and I make it my personal mission to try to push against that as much as possible and eject as much fun as I possibly can. And I think the coworkers appreciate it. Okay. So the crowd density in Starfield, I think it's a good change. It addresses a lot of the complaints about things like Skyrim cities being way too barren, underpopulated. That's been a complaint on BGS games for a long time. In Fallout, it made sense because the population had been wiped out by the nuclear apocalypse, right? So they're slowly rebuilding the population, rebuilding civilization. It makes sense that the population density is low. In both of those games, though, every single NPC had a script that they ran. They had daily schedules and stuff that sometimes they would get derailed from their schedule and they'd have to go off and do something else, but they would always gravitate back toward their daily schedule, their daily routines. About, you know, they go to the inn at around the same time every night after they close up their shop. Then they go home after a certain amount of time. They sleep there. They wake up. They open their shop at a certain time. None of that happens in Starfield. That's one of the things that I kind of miss, is the simulation aspect from those older games. Vendors are always in their shop 24/7. The random NPC that you see on the street, most of the time they're just a generic NPC that doesn't have a name, doesn't have a schedule. They're going from point A to point B and then they disappear. That's kind of sad. That's like one thing that BGS games had over quote-unquote more modern games with more crowd density, is that they had actual living, breathing NPCs in their world.
Embarrassing, really.
Sad to see it go. I hope that they have a more of a hybrid approach in the Elder Scrolls 6, because I do like the crowd density, but I still need, you know, the named NPCs to go back home, to go to the inn for a drink, have dinner with their family, and then, you know, sleep in their bed and come back wherever. Yeah, citizen, quote unquote. Yep, I'll sit. No problem.
So polite. Almost makes me forget what planet I'm on.
Damn, that covert ops outfit looks awesome.
Assume that briefcase.
The helmet is a bit much,
of interest?
but the suit itself works really well for this character's aesthetic.
One of
I
a
think.
kind, and I know you want it.
I love that I started a D&D group at my mental health therapy. Oh, that's awesome.
Things have changed. I want double.
Why not? You get a bunch of people in the same place, and you know, it's just good fun, right?
But your security here seems to have some fancy.
That's
gear.
also roleplay.
Why don't they chip in?
It's the fun kind of roleplay. We know you stole the artifact from Slayton. His agents are already on their way. Sell quickly.
What? How did you? As you can see, we know everything about everyone we deal with. Now let's
Walter's
skip
like,
to it,
what?
shall we? All right.
I love the Starborn dialogue. It really spices up a lot of the familiar
Is all yours.
dialogue sessions in this game.
Well done.
Very cool addition. Thumbs up, Bethesda. I love the new Game Plus system in this game.
Time to go home, shall we?
Yeah, I agree with Panic Monk. Not just being helpful, but also a lot of fun. Yeah. Lemons into lemonade, right?
Stop right there. You're in possession of Slayton Aerospace property.
Ah, Slayton must have been the original owner.
Yeah, I just said that, Walter.
All's fair on Neon. Am I right?
Hand over Mr. Slayton's property. Now.
You're just a pawn in Slayton's game to slow us down. He expects to meet us face to face.
He... What? Damn it! That is something he'd do. Well, I'm done being some throwaway goon for
I
Slayton.
love the
I quit.
Starborn dialogue options in this game. And I'm going to tell you specifically why. So, in games like Fallout and Skyrim and other Elder Scrolls games, we all love those games, right? We play those games over and over and over again. And in order to roleplay, sometimes you have to like force yourself to forget, or you have to use a mechanism that I like to call the conduit, right? Some kind of entity in the game that you know, it's all just made up shit, right? That you do for your own benefit.
Something's going on.
But this conduit is some kind of entity in the game that is feeding your character the information that you as a player already know from having played this game dozens of times for hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours, right? It could be a ghostly ancestor that's feeding you information on where to go. It could be a follower that's acting as a guide for different places and giving you tips on, okay, there's bandits here, there's Draugr here, there might be treasure over here, whatever. In Starfield, they built in a mechanic for that. When you do a new game plus, your character remembers everything that you did in those previous playthroughs, and now you have a dialogue option that you can choose because you already know everything. It really syncs up your knowledge as a player with your knowledge as a character, and then the game reacts to that and gives you feedback to that impossible knowledge that you're not supposed to have, but you do somehow. And that makes me giddy as a player. Something I've not been able to see in any other BGS game. It's awesome.
Your ship's been impounded at the spaceport.
There goes our way out.
Can't wait for the hold it right there, citizen guard dialogues. Yeah. Speaking of that, Ron Hope is the original Stop Criminal Scum voice actor, and he still sounds exactly the same all these years later. Awesome. I get that Stop Criminal Scum flashback every time I hear Ron Hope talk. It's great. We need Slayton off our backs.
Agreed. Have a talk with the man himself.
Slayton Aerospace has offices here in the trade tower. If Nicholas is
Stop
moving
criminal
this quickly,
scum.
he must be there or close by.
Let's head to their lobby, shall we? See if we can make an appointment.
Go to Slayton Aerospace HQ. Will do, Mr. Walt. So what you all got planned for the weekend, huh? Steelers are on today, and my wife is a Steelers fan, so I told her I would watch the game with her. Cardinals had a great game last week against the Eagles. Huge upset. They looked great too. Cardinals have no playoff hopes or anything this season. They never really did. What we've been rooting for here is for Kyler Murray to have a good season and to solidify himself as the quarterback of our future, right? Do a quick save here. And he's done that. He's come back from his injury, a little bit of rust, but he's moving around well. He's really working through some of his bad habits that he had developed last season. He's becoming a much better pocket passer. He's not underthrowing his passes, throwing off his back foot so much, and he's doing a lot better finding passing lanes down the middle of the field, which he has to do as, you know, a 5'10" quarterback in the NFL. You got to throw around guys instead of throwing over them. You know who we are. Slayton is waiting for us in his executive office on the top floor. So it was really nice to see everything come together, at least offensively. Defensively, we still got a huge talent gap, and actually we have a huge talent gap on our wide receiver end too. Take the elevator. Sure. Wow, Slayton Security, they do not like us here.
Hoping to get a meeting? I've been waiting all day.
Yeah, well, we got a CEO to fast track us here.
With the receptionist all you want.
Wait, this clearly isn't the executive level.
Sarah, is that you?
He's on to us.
Walter, taking what's mine and then breaking into my office. A bold move.
After you finish streaming, I'm gonna go finish reading book 1 in the Remnant Chronicles. Then gonna go write more. My adult dragon fantasy romance book. Ooh. So we talking like, you know, full-on dragon sex and stuff?
They've patched me in.
All right, we've got her out. Once the door's open,
So your
just
book is
follow the
about
instructions, okay?
all the different role plays. I kid. Follow her instructions, understood.
I'm aware of the irony of me continuing to say...
Well, now that my game is fixed, I think you know what I'll be doing. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's super good news. Yeah, so I gotta be watching the football game with my wife today, and then I want to go to GameStop and pre-order Tekken 8. Tekken has been one of those game series that I've played since, you know, being a... let's see, I was probably like 12 years old or something. Love Tekken. So that's one of those game series I always get like the collector's edition hard copy of. I got to go pre-order that because that comes out on the 28th, I believe. It's good because I'm in the mood for a fighting game, and that one looks really good. I always have to have a game I'm excited about. Okay, yeah, do a quick save here just in case I botch this up. Andreja, I know you're invisible, but I want you to wait here, okay?
Of course, take your time.
Okay, so for this game, if stealth isn't working well for you, I don't have any perks in the stealth skill at all for this character. But your sort of discoverability, I guess, how easily you're discovered has to do a lot with the equip weight that your character has. So if you take off your spacesuit and your armor, obviously you're going to be less protected if you do get caught, but it's going to make the enemies much less likely to actually detect you. Also, the covert ops suit that I'm wearing right now, you get this as a reward for completing the Ryujin Industries, or not even completing, but you get it late in the quest line for the Ryujin Industries quest line. Some really good quest rewards in the Ryujin stuff. I'm not liking the lack of bulge underneath that cod piece there. Maybe that's a side effect of all the cybernetics and nanobots he's got coursing through his body here, so that he doesn't fill out his tidy whities as good as he used to. That's all right. Anyway, this operative suit gives you it makes you 25% harder to detect, which is really good. Really good. In fact, where's the stealth stuff here? 25%. This is like a full. This is like a full skill level. Rank 1 is 25%. Rank 2 is another 25%. Rank 3 is another 25%, and rank 4 is another 25%. So this is wearing this suit is like a full ass skill level that you don't have to spend. And then for my Sunday plans, a little bit of housework. I gotta hang some stuff up. I actually went to the chiropractor earlier this week because
That's the elevator you came in on. Jump right across the top of it and keep going to the end.
Because my nerd neck issue has been causing me pain in like my shoulder blades. Oh, Walter. Okay, I thought Walter was gonna stay in the elevator. I didn't know he was following me. Yeah,
Drop
just
down and follow the conduit all the way to the end, past the fork.
sorry, I'm talking in starts and stops here because I'm trying to listen to Ms. Eklund there. So yeah, I went to the chiropractor on actually New Year's Day on Monday because I've been having a lot of shoulder pain. There's like a spasm in a muscle that's causing a pinched nerve, and no matter anything I do with the stretching and everything, and it's a posture situation, I'm sure of it. It's been bothering me for years. The chiropractor said just like I've been very tense. She said I felt like I'd been in a car accident or been like punched in the chin and knocked out because of how tense my neck and my back was. So I've been trying to, that was actually quite a good excuse to get off of that honeydew list, right? But there are some remaining items that I have to catch up on with the honeydew list. My wife's been rearranging some things around the house, but I've been trying to limit my involvement in it as much as possible to keep my back from flaring up. And it's been a little better lately from it. But I do need to spend some time this weekend hanging some stuff on the walls, which shouldn't be too physically demanding. Fingers crossed. They wanted me to go all the way across the conduit and to the fork. I'm in the conduit right now. Quick save. Yeah, so tomorrow I got some... Oh, maybe I'm in the conduit now. So tomorrow I got some home improvement stuff to work on. Hopefully I can keep that to a minimum, though.
There's a vent above you. Just climb up.
Now, I have also unequipped my pack to be more sneaky, which means I don't have access to the boost. Be nice if that was an actual light switch or something that I could use to turn everything off. catch up here. Oh, so there is actual dragon sex in there. Badass. Okay, Newcastle versus Sunday at 3. Just hate between those two cities. They're literally 15 away. Just the bridge. Okay, that's always the best kind of rivalry. Oh, you got foosball? You really have foosball, or you're just talking about soccer? Oh, you challenge me to a Tekken tournament? Shit, son. I'm not one for trash talk, but I'm pretty good at Tekken. Pretty good at Tekken. More on the gay male side romance. Okay. All right. Dead or Alive 4 was always my favorite fighting game because it was a teen boy. Oh, the Dead or Alive. I think males of all ages can appreciate Dead or Alive. What was that Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball? Dead or Alive and Tecmo in general has always had the best bounce physics in video games, and putting those bounce physics in a volleyball, in a beach volleyball game with all female athletes, it's one of the best marketing decisions that company has ever made. And it was actually a pretty good game to boot. I mean, you could replace all of the bounce physics and female bikini models with old fat guys, and it would still be a fun game. In fact, I think that there's oh my god, there is on Steam. It's called like an all-nude male beach volleyball game, and it's hilarious. In fact, I want to look this up. Watch my channel, it gets completely demonetized here. Oh, maybe they got taken off, but there was like nothing graphic about it. It was all just like different colored silhouettes. I want to be very careful about what I search for on Steam or the internet for nude volleyball. But it was on Steam. It was a stupid little indie game for like $10 that I saw on Discord somewhere, and it was like an all male nude beach volleyball, but it was like old male, like 50 plus or something like that. And it was all these hilarious like saggy belly, different colored silhouettes of just old dudes playing volleyball in the nude. But you have to do the quest. Yeah, I know. So that's actually one of the drawbacks, is like the stuff that you get, both the manipulation internal neuro amp and the operative suit, both would have been super useful at the beginning of that Ryujin questline, because there's so much sneaking going on with it. And if you're not a sneaky character, it's like the stuff that you need the most to complete that questline is the stuff that they give you at the end of the questline. Go figure. Still useful afterwards if you have like a sneak mission with non-sneak characters, but you're pretty good at Tekken? Okay, but what was the last Tekken game you played? It's changed a little bit, you know. They made some big changes to the game. If it was Tekken 3, you might be okay. If it was Tekken 2, you're dead in the water. Tekken 3 was an all-time classic, man. I completely missed what she said to do. That's where Andresia is. In fact, I am going to... disable that quest marker. Oh, definitely 3+. Buddy had the arcade machine in his basement. That's so badass. I would love to have an arcade collection. I really would, but I just don't have room for it. My wife and I have, it's about 1,100 square foot home. So it's a small house. It's just the two of us, so we don't really need any more room. Nice neighborhood, though, in Scottsdale, Arizona. But because of that, it's like I have room for my car. I have a 2016 Mustang that I'd like to keep in a garage. I could probably put...
One of the doors leads you right into the open. I'm unlocking a safe route. Opening the door on your right. Go now.
I could put the arcade cabinets in the in that room, in that garage, but I wouldn't have room for my car. Really? You want me to go that way? I also have room like right behind me. Where my dumbbells and my foam roller are set up like a penis and testicles. Right there. I have an outlet right there too. I could put an arcade cabinet right there, and maybe like a main cabinet or something that has like multiple arcade games in it, or at least something that I could switch out the board with. Would be cool. All Ford guys. You got a 26. Oh, nice. Did you get the Eco Boost or the V6 or the V8? I test drove the V8. And I test drove the V6 and I test drove the Eco Boost, and I like the V6 the best. I actually really like the V8. At some point I might get one. But right now my Mustang is a 2016. It's only, I don't even think it has 40,000 miles on it yet. And it's completely paid off, so there's like very little reason. I love the car. It's still a lot of fun to drive. I don't need to upgrade to a V8 at all.
Security is on full alert.
Damn it. Yeah, so New Game Plus 10, very hard. Is if you think this game is too easy, try rushing New Game Plus 10 times. Put it on very hard. You'll get the challenge you're looking for. You have the Eco Boost in it. Yeah, they're really leaning into that Eco Boost now. It's a good engine. I just don't like that turbo lag. If I smash the pedal to the floor, I want an instantaneous boost, and that's what I was getting with the V6. You get that with the V8 too. I considered the V8 because that was the only thing that the dealership had available in a manual transmission.
Just climb up.
And I prefer a manual over an automatic, but the newer automatics now have the paddle shifters, so you can control what gear you're in. And in the 2016 Mustang, those paddle shifters are pretty responsive. They make it really fun to drive.
Stop. One of the doors leads you right into the open. I'm unlocking a safe route. Opening the door on your right. Go now. Head left.
Let me catch up here. All Ford guys. Do love how it really thinks in UK. So interest. Good neighbors are good to have. My favorite neighbors are the ones I never have to talk to. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to buy a house coming from an apartment and then a condo, because I wanted 4 of my own walls. I don't have a problem with it. The next door neighbor on one side is pretty terrible hoarder, and he's got a rat problem. But you know, good walls make good neighbors, and got to pay $50 a month for the pest guy to come and make sure that we don't have rats and to put the traps where they're supposed to go. But better having a neighbor in a house with a rat problem than a neighbor with an apartment that's a hoarder and terrible. You know. Eco Boost, you got the V4. Okay. Bought it off my brother's wife as a daily driver. Used to drive a 2000 GT. Wow, nice. That's the Mitsubishi, right? Those are cool cars. They don't well, I'd like to say they don't make them like that anymore, but the newer Supra kind of looks like that. And the Mazda, what is it? The Mazda RX-8 kind of has that vibe going. Mitsubishi cars back in the day were pretty awesome though. Love a Japanese muscle car. $450. Oh, you got more horsepower than I do. I'm at like 310. Yeah, purely naturally aspirated the V6 is, and I kind of like the bigger engine. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it feels when you rev it up. And I like not having any kind of turbo lag. But yeah, with the boost, the Eco Boost, you can get a lot more horsepower for the gas mileage for sure. And no, paddle shifters are not the same as manual. No, they're not. They're pretty. They've gotten better though. They're not the same at all. There's something about, you know, throwing that gear shift, that stick shift into the next gear and slamming the pedal down for an immediate response. It's good stuff. Just get someone with a mink to get the rats. Yeah, I mean, just let a mink loose in his house. That would be great. Oh, a 3000 GT is the Mitsu. 2000 Mustang GT is the... Okay, gotcha. Yeah. That was back when they still had the solid rear axle. Those are good cars to drift with. Get that car sideways for a while. It's good stuff. The newer Mustangs have independent rear wheel suspension, so the handling is much better, but you don't get to break that rear end loose as much. I had a 2007 Ford Mustang V6 again, but that one was manual transmission, and I would relish the chances that I would get when it would rain to kind of break the back end loose a little bit. It was a lot of fun. Don't tell my insurance company I was doing that, but... 2000 Mustang GT. Okay, gotcha. Still a badass car. All right. Mustang guys in the chat. I like it.
Don't go through the door at the end yet. There's a robot stalking the hole.
Don't open the door at the end of it, she said, right?
Wait. It's walking down the hole. Go now, straight across to the door. Keep going, all the way to the end.
Keep going, she says. See, this is another one of those, in my opinion, well-written side quests, because it... Oof. What the hell are you doing here?
This is a private office.
Yeah, and now we're friends.
Wait, there's people in the room up ahead. Closing the shutters.
Who's your insurance? Just kidding. Don't you dare. No, in this car I've been fine.
Another robot up ahead.
Actually, no, I haven't been fine.
Then head straight across to the maintenance door next to the security gate. Go now. Let me just get that for you.
Thank you. No, still every once in a while if the street is clear and I see somebody like overwatered like a corner patch of grass or something and the water's leaking out into the street, I'll hit the gas a little extra hard to break the back end loose a little bit. I mean, that's why I want a sports car with rear-wheel drive and a front engine, right?
Hold on, trying to shut down that robot remotely. Got it. Whew. They're scrambling the protocols. I doubt that'll work again.
The hell? What happened? Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna have a sports car with the front engine and the rear wheel, it's like every once in a while you see a wet spot in the road and the road's clear and you're not gonna run into anybody. Just try to spin the back tires a little bit. That's what you're paying for.
When I find you, you're in trouble.
Try to reset detection on this here. Well, now we're not resetting detection.
Security is on full alert.
So this is another bug they need to fix.
Through unnoticed now. You'll have to fight your way to the exit.
They can actually shoot through the door because the gun model clips through it. Automatic gear sport car, really interesting. The new automatics have very fast gear shifting that is interesting. Yes. And that's why I'm saying the paddle shifter on the new Mustangs are actually not bad. You still prefer, there's a little bit of lag between the click and the gear shift. If you're used to be able, oh man, it's been a while since I've saved. Jeez, I'm gonna have to be doing this the same stretch over and over. Yeah, but the Mustang paddle shifter isn't anywhere close to something that you would get with like a Nissan GTR. A coworker of mine had one of those for a while, and that was like instantaneous. That gearbox. God damn it. That's also a higher tier sports car than what the Mustang is. At least the V6 Mustang.
Security is on full alert. No point slipping through unnoticed now.
What the hell is going on here? I'm just like randomly getting detected. Should I just say screw it and fight my way through this? I think that's what I'm gonna do. Who else wants some? I'm pissed off. Nothing? I just killed 2 of your high-end robot dogs there. You can't see. What happened? Just mowing down the employees too. God, this is terrible. I should reload the save. Oh yeah, you want some too? Oh, I see ya. No. Nice swing. Not even close. Who's talking to me? Might get some advanced gear here too. Oh, could take those bandages here too. Wow, you guys are really not good swinging your weapons around, are you? Robot is tough, man. Ah! Walter, you shooting at me? What was that you were saying? Okay.
Climb up. There's a series of catwalks that lead directly up one floor to the executive level.
Well, I guess.
The GTR is a beast, though. Those engines are hand-built. Yeah, it was a really cool car. The problem is finding one that's affordable, that's actually in good shape, that hasn't had just the total shit run out of it, you know? The guy who bought it is a total car guy, and he's always kind of... He was, anyway. He recently bought a Tesla and is kind of in love with that. Better daily driver anyway, too. But he was always, like, keeping an eye on the listings for any kind of, like... He was really into the GTRs. Had a Corvette C5 for a while, I believe, too. But he was always keeping an eye on the listings, and he found a really good deal on one with a limited amount of miles on it. Jumped all over it, because it just doesn't happen all that often. What you shooting at here, bud? Ah, there you are. Well, this is more fun than the stealth anyway, I think. Especially for a non-stealth character. Where the hell am I supposed to be going? I gotta go up. I feel a Magus rant coming on about electric vehicles. What's up, bro? Oh. God, this guy's tough, man. Fuck electric vehicles. Skyline was amazing. It was a version that we turned into rally car, but never really won. Yeah. Scania automatic versus Peterbilt automatic. Interesting drag waste, by the way. Americans usually carry 420. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Good luck with whatever your current endeavor is there, James. I'll probably be around for another 40 minutes or so.
I'll call the one on the far end, and you can walk right over the top.
Okay, well, now it's time for the ultimate confrontation. Let's make sure I have all my stuff reloaded. Should be able to talk our way out of this, I think, at this point. Just getting here was the big deal.
You know, it's moments like this that really makes Neon the best place to do business.
Oh, you like this, huh?
Steal what's mine. I trap you in the city. You infiltrate my office. I lock it down. Where else can you match wits for the highest stakes but here?
Call off your guards and release my ship.
You have what's mine. I, indirectly, have what's yours. We are at a stalemate.
Although I do count a few more guns on my side.
There were a lot more guns out there, believe me. I wouldn't trust your mercs. They haven't stopped us so far.
You do make a bold point.
A bold point and a good point. And a correct point.
Dilemma.
Perhaps I can help. We're both people of business, Nicholas. In the same industry, no less.
Yes, I'm beginning to see the opportunity. There is, however, one final detail to disclose. Mr. Musgrove, my former employee...
It's Reinhardt?
Responsible
Reinhardt.
for our serendipitous
That sounds familiar.
Was caught
What game are you talking about
prior
from,
to
Jimmy?
your arrival. I think it would cement our new partnership if you were to decide on his sentence yourselves.
Guessing the voice actor for this guy? Overwatch. Yeah. Okay, I did play Reinhardt. The guy with the big shield, right? And the sledgehammer. That was my main in Overwatch back when I played. That was a long time ago, though. He's a thief. Let the authorities deal with him.
If that is your decision, you need only tell him yourself, and then we will handle the rest.
Assuming there is no information we are lacking, that seems reasonable.
My security
weirdly
brought
reasonable, right?
Musgrove to my office. I'm sure seeing you again will be a fine conclusion to your previous business.
Let's let him go. No sense in more violence. We have an opportunity to spare a man's life. I know he probably wouldn't do the same for us.
No.
But that shouldn't matter.
Doesn't mean he should get off scot-free either, though.
Yes? Yes?
Hey, bye-bye. Let's get moving.
I will watch your back.
Andreja is the one follower left that I haven't really taken on in any kind of extended capacity. Barrett, at least I have done partially his personal quest. Sam I've completed, Sarah I've completed, but Andreja I haven't even really scratched the surface on, so looking forward to learning what makes her tick.
Oh no. You. Slayton really does have a sick sense of humor.
Well, I know the whole story. There's something going on here. Why'd you steal the artifact?
10 years working in aerospace engineering.
You've completed Sam and Barrett so far?
You damn right I stole that thing.
Barrett's hilarious. He makes me chuckle every time we talk.
Go far.
Yep.
But the
It does get to be a little much, like he's
steals the
kind of
most
like a cartoon character
gets
sometimes,
away
but it works. I mean, he keeps me chuckling. That's all that really matters, right? They all have very personal journeys that they're going through, and it's fun to learn their story. You're working on Andreja? Yeah, she's the most mysterious out of all of them, I think.
Slayton took it all. Probably in one of his secure accounts somewhere.
I'll settle up with him later. Arbitration, lawyers, all that nonsense.
Please, I was just trying to sell a product, okay? Isn't that why we're all here?
Be lenient. We were taking advantage of his initiative, after all, even if we have found ourselves working with the man he stole from.
Okay. I think the good middle ground here is like, okay, you stole something, you gotta go to jail. We are a Freestar Ranger, after all. We're trying to debug the multiverse, as the title of the stream says. So we're trying to make this a better place. It's not going to be a better place with him in it, so they're going to jail.
Justice for some, huh? Fine.
Oh,
Rather be
people
caged than dead.
like
It
your
seems
boss
you will
are
have plenty of time
going
to
get what
evaluate that sentiment
comes to them.
while you are in jail.
I will make the arrangements for Neon Security to take him into custody. You're free to leave.
Time to go. Let's talk more back at the ship.
And there is a little bit of justice involved with this. Maybe not for all the security guards that we've killed that were just doing their job, but that definitely hits the bottom line of Mr. Slayton here.
That last job was
was tasty. Yes.
It hit his wallet and his pride a little bit. That counts for something. Maybe not enough, but something.
Get going. Mr. Slayton is done with you.
It's not a very good tactical stance there. And giving you the old Earth weaponry is probably not the best use of their funds, I think. Yeah, I'm going. So while we're here, I kind of want to check out maybe Tayo Engineering and Stroud Eklund ship services.
Keep it moving.
To see if I can find that butthole port for my for my ship. I'm looking for a port, a docker for my ship that faces the back. I found them that face the front and the side. I need to move it from the top so that I can build upward on my ship instead of continuing to go outward. Go to the ship. Yeah, we'll take care of the ship here in a second. Got to go back to the Ryujin Tower. I think this is where Stroud Eklund and Tayo are, right?
Down on our meetings.
Might do a Limothit race as a pyromaniac caster. Lilmothit. Okay, what race is that? Is that the fox one or the rabbit one? Talking about a Skyrim modded race?
Tayo always seemed more style than substance, but clearly it appeals to some.
Yeah, I mean, if they get the part that does what I want it to do in the right spot...
Decisions.
And that's what I really need, Andreja. I'm not really too concerned with style at this point.
You ready to change your life?
Yeah.
People spend their
Spare the
whole
marketing,
lives
please. Just
dreaming
let me
of
see what you
flying
have
a
for sale.
Sleek, sexy spaceship. And I get to make that happen. Tayo brings out the very best in people.
Lilmothit play several years ago, the one race mod I used that was solid. Oh, nice. It's the Fox race. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Fun to play. What kind of, do they have any kind of like racial abilities that are modded in? What kind of stuff do they give you in terms of gameplay? I mean, they look how they look, right? I'm sure most of the draw is the model, right?
Take a look at our catalog, and I just
Whatever
know
you say,
you'll change
lady.
your mind. Are you ready to make your dreams come true?
Let's see.
Excellent. If you decide to,
Oh, this is to buy a ship. No, I don't want to buy a new ship. Although some of the Tayo stuff does look cool. I want to see what kind of part you can retrofit onto my ship. Okay, so here's a better view of what I'm going for with the Gradius Vic Viper thing. It's a little too wide. What I want to do is maybe shave the hab on each side off. Take the sort of slanted fin off the second one in the middle, take those off, and then move the two bottom fins over. And then build up higher, one hab higher up here, and then add another fin to the back. So something like, can't duplicate that here. First off, I want to get rid of this guy here and put a port or a dock there instead. No, and all I got is a top docker on this, so that's not going to work. All right, whatever. Sneak that back in there. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do to get a better representation of the Gradius ship is something guess I could put that there. Okay, so this kind of matches the shape a little bit more. It's a little bit narrower. It has all the same hab space in it. The problem with a lot of these is the more you start adding to your ship, the more landing gears it requires. So you start running out of space to put landing gears. The heavier your ship is, the more landing gears it requires. Otherwise, it won't let you make the modifications to it. I also don't like how far these landing gears stick out, but this is kind of more the shape of the Vic Viper, I would say. And then put a couple of fins. Maybe I could put that like right there. Put a couple of vertical fins up here. Paint everything white, and that would be more like a Vic Viper type thing. In fact, I could probably also get rid of these habs. That doesn't look bad at all, actually. Less hab space, less hull armor value. So basically you'd have less HP on your ship, but you'd be a little more maneuverable this way. And from there, you do something like this. Put like another one of those up here. Tayo doesn't have anything like this, but something like that. And then we could even put like one of the docks, one of the top docks, which is where I'm getting the error now. Put something like that up there. We're getting there. Yeah, the shipbuilding is something that it took me a while to get into, just because this game, like a lot of people say, is as wide as an ocean and as deep as a puddle, as they like to say. This is part of one of the hi dog. This is part of one of the width things that, you know, you're exploring a bunch of the different mechanics of the game. Come here. Well, yeah, I'll get you something, but you gotta come here and say hi. Time for a puppy cam. Mwah. Oink. Here's a oink. Oh, I know I love you so much. Oink, oink, oink. Can you say hello to everybody? You feeling talkative today? Oh, you got a lot of kisses, huh? You're feeling very loving. You're feeling very loving and snuggly, huh? Can I squeeze you? I'll give you a big old squeezes. Can I squeeze the bones? Can I squeeze you up? Oh, I love you. You got nothing to say? Usually I can get her to talk. She's a beagle, so she likes to howl. Tell you what, give me just a second. I'm just gonna get her a quick snack and I'll be right back. Wheels are sticking on my chair. Ah, awe is right. That is the cutest little thing in the world. Love that little dog. This is the mod. Let's take a look at that mod. The Lilmethit mod. Uh-oh. Yeah, let's go to the site. Oh, no, this isn't the Lilmethit. Or maybe this is the Lilmethit. Oh, you get a few races. Okay, I see. That's awesome. So this is, oh, it's got a Dwemer. This is a pack of races. That's pretty cool. Lilmethit, here we go. This is the fox one, right? Less health, same magic, a little more stamina. So health regeneration's a little lower, magic regeneration is pretty high, and stamina regeneration's really high. Prices are 15% better, and persuasion attempts are easier. Flight instinct regenerate up to 15% total stamina per second based on missing health. Okay. Movement speed is increased by 10. Okay, so it's kind of a Khajiit type archetype, I guess. Maybe a little more talky, more stamina regeneration, but still as quick and everything. Kind of what I would have guessed. Yeah, I think I saw either you or Wind playing this. Very cool looking mod. The Maormer. Oh, there we go. Oh, what was Star Fox from Nintendo 64 with the Fox McCloud. That's that. I'm getting Star Fox vibes here. Now, what we need to do is get a Lilmethit race in Starfield, so that we can build a ship for him and do a ship pilot build. That's what Win said too. Oh, you did the rabbit race one playthrough. Gotcha. Lilmethit is meant to be a spell sword? Oh yeah, there was some magicka regeneration in there too that helped. Look at Kitty Tail's new mod. Excellent idea. Yeah, right? Fox McCloud build. I'm down for it. All right, let's take a look at this new Kitty Tails mod. I'm sure this isn't it. I'm just using this to link to Kitty Tails mods here. Whenever this pops up, I always want to... You get these huge Wabbajack lists. And for Fallout 4, I was using a Wabbajack list with, you know, just hundreds and hundreds of mods. I really need to go through and just endorse them all. God, I still have 1,200 unendorsed mods. I'm a terrible mod user. Okay. Kitty Tail. Petra Cottontail. That sounds familiar. No, that was kind of a cool character, though. I remember. She was a smart bun. Foxes greater than long deers all day. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Magus went with the fox race and you went with the rabbit race. I see what you're doing there. Apparently, it's called Dark Hierophant. Oh, like, just released yesterday, huh? Is this another magic mod? A set of advanced and unique non-elemental spells. Okay, cool. I like non-elemental spells. They kind of defy classification in a way that expands your range of like novel mage type characters, I think. The spell tomes and scrolls can be crafted at the Ghostlight Altar in the Forgotten Vale, so there's actually modded areas and stuff in there too. Sapphire Paragon is required to access this. So, okay, so it's gate kept too. So these are probably pretty powerful if they're making you go through all this stuff to get them. The spells are powerful and can bypass magic absorption, but they require the user to have a large pool of magicka. They do not benefit from elemental destruction perks, but I'm sure that the, oh, well, I don't know, maybe the raw power perks in an Irem, in Ordinator, would, so these are probably balanced according to not being able to perk into them, but if Ordinator buffs them through their raw power perk, which they may or may not, depending on keywords that may or may not be in the spell, I would make these extremely powerful. They look cool though. Can't play it on full screen. Wow, that looks really cool. It almost has like the rune type stuff in it. That's a cool cloak spell too. This looks really awesome. Oh, I see. It's almost like that Forgotten Magic static charge. It seems like. Oh, and this cloak is changing too. This is really interesting. So that looks like it's in immobility, almost like a paralysis type thing. Oh, is this Darkest Dungeon combat music? That's awesome. I haven't played it. It's in my backlog though. Man, I really want to attack my backlog this year. Chain effect is cool with the pulsating stuff. I like the sound effects too. Oh, you got like a, that's a cool effect with the blade, like the disc thing. That was pretty epic. Damn. So I'm guessing this is available for console too, James? These spell packs are like a really good way to add content to your game for a console. These are, to think that you can get this for free on Xbox One or whatever, it's a pretty cool experience. I mean, we've come to expect stuff like this as PC players, right? But having this kind of crap on console, that's awesome. I can see why you're excited. Oh, wow. All right. All right, yeah, if you're looking to make a spectacle and cover up the entire screen with your magic. I mean, yeah, a lot of other magic stuff does that too. Oh yeah, by the way, people who only play Skyrim, you're not going to be interested in this, but the last Steam update had added these categories here. If you're like me and you have a huge backlog, a big old pile of shame, you can add custom categories for all the different games that you have in your library. all the stuff that you want to play. So like once I get done with the Starfield content that I want to put out in the next couple months, I'm gonna have room on my drive for some more backlog games. And if I say like, okay, I want to play like a racing arcade racing game, I can come here to my racing game category for the arcade racing game, and I can pick which one of these now I want to play from my backlog. And once I'm done, like say I play Burnout Paradise Remastered, I can add this to my category that I have for played and no return. So it's like, okay, I've played this game from my backlog now, and I don't want to play it again. So I'm gonna move that to this, and then remove it from my racing arcade category. So if you have a huge pile of shame like I do, obviously you can see how many games I have here. I'm not a total lazy gamer. I do have 85 games here that I have played and am kind of done with. So I will get to these eventually, but there are a lot of games in here that a lot of AA indie darlings that are hidden gems and stuff, and a lot of like old AAA classics like BioShock and stuff here too. Left 4 Dead 2, all the good stuff. I think once I'm done with Starfield for a while until I get motivated to do another build, I do have like 3 or 4 different builds rattling around in my head. I want to do an explosives expert build, and I want to do that Cyberpunk V build that I showed you guys a few weeks ago, maybe a month or 2 ago. The Cyber Runner build that I wanted to do. That one as well. But I think my next project, you know, aside from the Skyrim stuff, which is always going to be coming, this is always going to be a Skyrim-centric channel, but I want to branch out and do other stuff as well, like between build guides. I think I want to do a shoot-'em-up gauntlet, where I do like, I spend like 30 minutes on 10 different shoot-'em-ups. And I want to find a shoot-'em-up that I like. See, I have like, these things are dirt cheap on Steam. That's why I have so many of them. They go on sale for like $3 or something like that, and I just throw them in my cart and buy them and save them for later. But there are some really hidden gems, really good hidden gems in here. Zero Ranger I'm looking forward to. But yeah, that's, I kind of want to do a shoot 'em up gauntlet where I spend 30 minutes on like 10 different games, and I pick the one that I like best because I want to do a 1 credit clear on it at some point. Dodonpachi, this is another classic arcade shoot 'em up game that I'm really looking forward to here. Just since I'm out of the game now and browsing stuff that isn't Starfield. This gets me going. I grew up in arcades, right? I'm a product of the 90s, late 80s. That's where my exposure to video games started. And these are quintessential arcade games. These are loud, they're like bombastic, they're visual spectacles, lights flashing all over the place. The sound is really crunchy and incredible on these things. And that's how they got you to put your quarter in over and over again. So I get this sense of nostalgia whenever I see a game like this. And I don't know, I get all giddy when I feel like I can play this as much as I want without having to put a quarter in every time, right? It's awesome. Anyway, let's see, we got about 8 minutes left in my window here. Not bad, not bad. So I'm not actually going to make these changes because, well, I guess I could, but I do want to get some fins on here to complete the Gradius thing. So yeah, let's take a look at what I'm looking at here, what I'm modeling this shipbuilding stuff after. Vic Viper model. Oh, this is actually model kits, not like a in-game model, but this is kind of what I'm going for here. This is more like a fighter jet thing, and if you start putting the big Class C engines on this thing to upgrade it to be a more powerful ship, then you got to start adding a whole lot more landing gears and stuff, which makes the ship bigger and bigger, because those Class C engines, the Class C components, weigh a lot more. I could probably do maybe like a Class A Viper, a Class B Viper, that are smaller and more maneuverable, but they're still not going to go toe-to-toe with a the hardest ships in the game. That's what I'm really looking for, is something that I can build that can go toe to toe with the Crimson Fleet at the end of that quest line. Because, damn, that's like the hardest. That's the hardest moment in this entire game. Was that Crimson Fleet? But this is what I'm going for. I don't know how close I'm getting with it. I might want to replace these dinky little wings with something a little bigger, maybe. Hard pass. Oh, for the kitty tail stuff? It's pretty bombastic, right? And if you say that was too blinding, maybe that's why I liked it and you didn't, because I was looking at that arcade game. It's just beams everywhere, right? Beams and explosions everywhere. I wish authors would showcase their mods, especially ones like that, without the use of ENB, because it will look... Yeah, it will. But the gameplay stuff is still there, and it's free. It's not a paid mod, which is awesome for console users, right? To be able to get something that high quality without having to pay for it through Creation Club is awesome. Oh yeah, it's blinding because of the ENB. Yeah, I mean, I think it's... I don't mind them putting, like, with the highly modded stuff in there, because I think there's some value to showing, like, how good this can look with the proper mods, right? But, yeah, I think I agree with you that there should be some representation, at least. For a non-graphically enhanced representation of it. This looks like a wing, but this is actually cowling. This is top cowling. That it doesn't have a side attachment on it. I could round out these hard edges with these structural pieces here a little bit. That would look a little better. But I'm not seeing any actual wings. Nose cap. It actually might not look bad on one of the tips over here. It's a little fat though. I like the pointier edges. Because the Vic Viper had the... I'm looking for a longer wing over here, which I thought I saw at New Atlantis, but I'm not seeing here at Tayo. Could do something with this, maybe. Could put another hab there. I have another hull piece there. Or even something like this. Getting a little better. I think it needs a more pronounced wing in the back, though. Nah, it's still a little too round. A little too blunt. Like it's sharper. Braking engine. Where is the connector on this? In the back. Yeah, that's not gonna work either. Yeah, but the shipbuilding in this game is surprisingly deep. And it does have an impact on gameplay. Yeah, nothing in the term of wings over here. So yeah, I'm just gonna cancel all this. But there are options. I really need to find a backwards facing port. A backwards facing docker. Found them frontwards, sideways, and upwards, but not backwards yet. Got 2 minutes. Let's sprint down to the Stroud Eklund showroom. I can find it here. We were just there in this mission, but I was so distracted talking to chat. Maybe it's off to the side over here, not part of the proper... Ryujin. I seem to remember there was one off to the right. Maybe I'm thinking of the Astral Lounge commercial tower here. Here we go. Stroud Eklunds, you know, Slayton Aerospace. They're probably not going to sell me anything now after all that. Maybe.
Walter is very proud of his business. And he should be.
Hell
His
yeah.
ships are very high quality.
Doing a little bump and grind there, Walter? The hard way? I like it.
You know me, sister? Our office is open. Just try to keep interruptions to a minimum.
Yeah. Who do I talk to about ship parts here?
Oh, that was exciting. I can see why Walter is so fond of Constellation.
Yeah, mass murder is great.
You don't need to wear your helmet in here. You know that, right?
Are you supposed to be here?
Well, I'm trying to buy something from you guys.
What?
Maybe it's mission locked. Maybe I can't actually buy anything until this mission is done. Well. Okay, let's just get out to the ship here and I'll probably call it quits there. Ooh, I'm getting hungry, guys. The trade tower.
Ain't no funny stuff with that boost pack. Not enough flight traffic as it is.
I'll give you funny stuff with the boost pack.
You're out there a lot, right?
Want to see how short my temper is? Keep talking.
Still a cool looking ship though. I like the silhouette here. I definitely like the two-pronged structure here. They kind of look like fangs, which I think is where the Vic Viper got its name. The Viper is because it's two-pronged front. Made it look like snake fangs. It's a pretty cool look, I think. I would just like to set the cockpit up a little higher too. Because in first-person view with this ship, it's, well, even with third-person view, it's heavily obstructed with just how big the ship is. It takes up most of the screen, right? But in first-person view, it's a little more functional. But with how shrouded the cockpit is with the structure of the ship.
Hey, if you need something, happy to lend a hand.
Could be more functional, I think.
A deal with a man who wanted us dead. I guess we can call that a win. What do you think?
Yeah, it works for me. I think you and your wife are cute together.
Thank you. I guess. Some people call Issa a jewel, but she's more than that to me. I can't really describe it. There's me, and her, and an us. And I wouldn't trade the us for all the credits in Neon.
Hey, Dad, you want to hear a joke?
Very fortunate.
Sure, sweet pea.
And I am glad that you see
Yo,
it.
man, could always use a laugh.
Oh, no. I'm great success. Thank you for allowing me to
jump
tag
higher?
along.
Everybody in Constellation loved that comment. Look at that. Sarah like that. Barrett like that. Sam like that.
Everybody! Skyscrapers can't jump!
Rare item acquired. Fiscal quarter. It's a rifle, huh? We'll take a look at that once we get back up into orbit. And I think I can add some cowling underneath, or maybe another set of the Nova cowling. Because right now the halves underneath the fangs are kind of, it's kind of a harsh jut. But I could also use that space for... Uh-oh. Do I have to fight this guy now? This is gonna be a tough fight.
Oh, that's not any type of ship I recognize.
Oh, I recognize this ship. Oh, cool. Yeah, I love the expanded dialogue in this game. So there's one for starship design if you have a certain skill in starship design, and one for starborn. I'm gonna go with the starborn one now. You know we can't do that. We're in this search until the end.
So you are. We recognize you. I don't know who you're hoping to fool, but you are walking a twisted path. Do you not see the pain you bring? A life should only be lived once.
This ain't my first rodeo, emissary.
What are they talking about? What are these riddles?
What I choose to do is not for you to judge.
This universe has a right to exist according to its own rules. Keep your artifact. As Starborn, we will settle this later.
Well, cat might be out of the bag a little bit here, huh?
Pretend that I don't have questions, but you clearly just saved our lives, so whatever secrets you need to keep, I'll keep them.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is a big moment. I have not replayed through the main quest line all the way on a New Game Plus. I didn't know that you were going to be... Oh. Yeah, okay, I don't want to lie to these people. I haven't always been honest about who I am, who I was.
Say no more. We all came from different walks of life. That's one of Constellation's strengths. All that matters is who you are now.
Okay, he's letting me off the hook.
And you're one of us. I don't need any more than that. Well, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of these Starborn. And the speculation part of my brain is in overdrive. We need to regroup at the lodge immediately. Tell Noel to analyze the data off the ship's sensors. Everyone's going to want to weigh in on this.
Okay. All right, so yeah, that's very interesting. I love the little expanded dialogue, as I've said. Okay, so this is what it looks like in first-person view. Not terrible. You get a heads-up display that shows you where all your targets are. But yeah, the fangs on the front of that ship are just very distracting. I think if I could move the cock up, if I could move the cockpit up one level, and then maybe move the particle beam weapons down underneath the front cowling there, underneath the fangs, that would increase visibility a lot, especially in first-person view. In third-person view, it still takes up maybe 40% of the screen, right? I can see a little bit above the ship, but not really anything below it. I knew the wind would like that little flub. He's moving his cock up. All right. Yeah, all right. I think that is about it for me for this stream. Let's see if we can get a good shot of where our ship is. take a mental note of where the ship is now and where it might be in the future. I'm excited to make some further modifications to get to my desired outcome with the ship design here, and actually excited to see if I can make it stronger. The real test will be that the end of that Crimson Fleet questline with that huge battle royale at the end of it. I have not found a ship that even the Starborn Helix ship couldn't get through that without lowering the difficulty. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I had a blast. Still loving this game, but also looking forward to getting back to Skyrim sometime around the corner, so stay tuned for that. Oh yeah, well, that's for all my other friends here in the audience that have their own channel that I do love and adore. Check out the links in the description below. There's one for Magus there for his Twitch channel. He has miraculously saved his save file. So his long-running, especially for Magus, he's got a long-running playthrough here with the Battle Ranger. Really cool gameplay going on over there, so check that out. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it myself. And the Wind as well played Starfield recently. She's got a lot of good stuff going over there on her channel as well. I had a good time last time I caught her stream. So do check that out. Who else was here that I did not advertise for? I think that's it. Oh yeah, there was the Panicked Monk also, who check out his YouTube channel. He's got some good roleplay going on with his Meiji character over there too. Good stuff over there. All right, I think that's it. You guys have a good weekend, okay? And take care of yourself, and I will see you around. Bye, guys.